Broadcasting live, playing theme tune. Oh, it's so exciting.
Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Welcome to Guerrilla Cricket. Well, here we are, a full month after the USA beat Canada in Dallas. 54 matches across North America, South America and the West Indies. Buckets of rain and buckets of tears later, we have come to the final between India and South Africa in Bridgetown, Barbados. For the first time in the World T20, both finalists arrive at the denouement unbeaten. Something has to give, unless the weather wins, but there is a reserve day to try and ensure that doesn't happen. But
with Hurricane
Beryl is looming, bless her. Both India and South Africa easily brushed aside their semi-final opponents. For one of these perennial chokers, there will be redemption and rejoicing. For the other, the bitter sting of tears again. I'm Tony Bishop, and with me are our mirthful meteorologist, Messy Jez.
Hello, Tony. I loved your poetry of introduction today. Thank you for that.
Oh, well, that's
looks
awesome.
like being a lovely day at Barbados. Always a chance of a thunderstorm. But,
famous last words.
30 odd degrees and humid, and 30 kilometre per hour winds directly across the ground.
Beryl's on her best behaviour until tomorrow evening, we hope. And who else but South Africa's biggest fan for today, the Bear.
Absolutely, I'm supporting South Africa today. Perennial chokers they may be. India have been choking a bit over the last 10 years or so. Certainly finals.
At least they're not playing Australia today.
Well, they're not playing Australia today. And the Saffers, I fear, batting second, that is their worst place for them to choke. But
Well, now you mention it, that's a good thing. We should mention the team and toss.
Well, we should do.
Toss. India won it.
Yeah.
India won it. They chose to bat, which is what is the right thing to do, I think, looking historically at Barbados, although I think it's about 3-all batting first and second in the games this World Cup. India, no changes whatsoever as per your team sheets. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Rishabh Pant, Suryakumar Yadav, Shivam Dubey, Hardik Pandya, Axar Patel, Ravindra Jadeja, Arshdeep Singh, Kuldeep Yadav and Jasprit Bumrah. South Africa, well, they've gone with Shamsi, so they will be Quentin de Kock, Reza Hendricks, Aidan Markram, the captain, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Heinrich Klassen, Marco Janssen, Keshav Maharaj, Kagiso Rabada, Anrik Nokia and Tabriz Shamsi. Well, now, chaps, where do we start? I can't turn my page over. I know I had a good question set up for you. Oh no, the first one was, before we get going, very quickly, Messers first, just your overall impressions of the tournament that we've enjoyed.
It's interesting looking back on it. The impact of what has to be regarded as somewhat dodgy wickets has actually been pretty positive from a spectator point of view. Bloody hard work for some teams playing on them. But I think we've ended up with the situation which doesn't always happen of the two best teams in the final. So and there's been a lot of fun along the way.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm very happy with it. It's been an exciting tournament. It's been exhausting for us, but it must have been even more exhausting.
Well, it's been exhausting for the Bear. He's been more than me. Bear, what have you made of it?
I've really enjoyed it, actually. I think it's been a great tournament, and precisely for the reasons that Messi says. I mean, the tough wickets in New York were really fun to watch cricket on. Competitive cricket all the way through. Bowlers have had a fucking chance for a change instead of impact players and flat tracks with 40-yard boundaries. You know, it makes for interesting cricket. Maybe a bit one-sided in New York, but hell, it was a good panacea to the IPL, which we just watched. Yeah, and I'd say probably the best two teams. I mean, South Africa, if they get it together, you always think that they've got so much more to give than they actually have given, and they've managed to win every game so far in a tournament. So if they have a blinder today, I mean, their top order is really not fired. Klassen's not done anything big. Miller's not done anything big, really. As far as I can remember, they might have had one game here or there. But generally, they've been dug out. Quinton de Kock recently has scored runs. A couple of decent innings in a row. And you think if that top six fires for South Africa, they could get a big score.
Well, they are big certainly capable of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Messers, India, they've been here in a final before, very recently, and the World Test Championship final, not playing Australia this time. Are they coping? Will they cope with the weight of expectation of the billions of people?
I actually think they will. You asked me a question at the start of the semi-final against England about who would win, and I said logic says India will win because they're the better team, although my gut said England. And you said, really, do you think they're the better team? Well, I think they've proved how decisively that they were the better team.
Well,
I think the same applies here. Hang on. And I think the fact that they've managed to do this without any serious contribution from Kohli or Jadeja shows how extraordinarily good they are. Because if either of those two actually makes a serious contribution today, it makes them even better. I think South Africa have been great, but they've been pretty dodgy in their batting up to date. So I think India very much have to be favourites for this.
Well, India are favourites. The bookies have South Africa at 2-1, and they also have India at, if you let me go for a minute, I've gone under for the fall of the first wicket, obviously, but I also think first wicket will be LBW, so I've gone for that as well. Good 5-2 there.
Well, it's certainly the good news, again, after so much rain throughout the tournament.
India are 5-2 on, by the way.
And 5-2 on, and Beryl, Hurricane Beryl, Storm Beryl, looming in, ready for tomorrow. At the moment, after a lot of rainfall in Barbados, we're looking at blue skies, blue sea, big crowd, and a lot of expectation, which is fantastic. Now, Messers, outside of...
Hold on, you didn't let me answer that question.
Oh, sorry, didn't I? Okay, which one was it?
The one about best team, India. And I think India were better than England in the semi-final, but I think actually West Indian conditions actually quite suit India. And I think in those, well, I mean, obviously they lost the home World Cup to Australia, and that was more of a choke than anything else you'd have had to say. But the World Test Championships in England, they've always come up against sides who are used to playing in, were better suited to the conditions in England, I think. And therefore I do have probably India as favourites today. I'd just like to see, well, that's a nice outfit. I'd like to say,
wasn't a lot of it, Jesus.
I'd like to see South Africa win something. They never won anything. They choke perennially. It'd be nice to get them on the board.
Well, I think we've already seen more than we were expecting.
Well, it might help cricket in bloody South Africa as well if they were fucking world champions, you know.
Right. Well, we are going to get going very soon. Rohit Sharma, who played, by the way, in 2007 in that World Cup, made a 50. Made
how old
a
was
50.
He, about 19.
Well, he made a 50 against South Africa in 40 balls in the game they played in that World Cup. So here he is. It's also the repeat of a semi-final, I think. This one, 2014 semi-final, which India won, because this is the first time ever South Africa have made it to the final. Marco Janssen's going to be opening the bowling from that media centre end. Is the media centre end? Is that which end? The famous West Indian or famous Bayesian is that Lords. Named after Marshall Organa? I know it looks like Lords. He's going to be bowling to this chap anyway, is Marco Janssen. 264. And we should be able to find the very tall indeed. I can't find him. Where is? Oh, here he is. Good old Marco.
You think Marco would play polo?
And his left arm over to the right-handed Rohit, who punches straight away out to mid-on. And India are off and running, one off the first ball, one without loss. He's such a, what is he? He's about 6'7", 6'8", isn't he, Marco Janssen?
6'8" or 9.
Big number 70 on his back. Richard Illingworth is the figure that he will be coming in around. I thought it was going to be Gaffney. It's not. It's,
Gaffney at the other end, mate.
Oh, well, so not the Kepler.
No, maybe he's third umpire.
Okay, they've changed things around a bit again. Richard Illingworth, well, he took a wicket.
30 mile an hour winds, it has to be said today, towards the short boundary apparently.
Ooh, well, that's going to help.
30 km/h, not a mile an hour.
Although the pitch is pitch number 4, which is in the middle. That's sweetly driven away by Kohli. He's not had the best of World Cups, but he's made the perfect start to this one with a gorgeous looking 4 all the way along the ground, away through cover. 4 of these. It's more to the backward point rather than cover, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He just sort of steered it away.
It
nicely
was wide
done.
and full and long, wasn't it? Got what it deserved, really.
It was.
It's quite
indeed
difficult bowling in these conditions. The wind's coming right across the pitch.
It is, but they say pitch number 4, so it is pretty central. There isn't really a short boundary as such. That's flicked off his toes, over pitched by Janssen, and Kohli, who has really scratched around for many of the games, well, all of the games really, all of a sudden has started with 2 boundaries.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Overpitched that, didn't he?
Yeah, overcompensated for the wide full one.
Yeah, and Kohli said thank you very much. Well, if you wanted to steady your nerves in a major final, those are probably 2 deliveries that's going to help you to do it. Nerves for the bowler too, of course. 9 without loss, India. They have a slip in place to South Africa. That's driven away again between cover and extra cover. This one will be fielded. He didn't get all of it. They will just take a single, I would expect. They have taken 2 actually. Yeah, they should have taken 2
Easy
for that.
2.
Easy 2. So 11 already off this first over. 11 without loss. Splendid start from Virat. Swung a little bit, that Janssen delivery,
yeah,
but
it has, but
it
that's what
actually
I mean.
helped that shot.
But that's what I mean. If the wind's coming across at 20 miles an hour, essentially, if it dies suddenly and you're aiming to get it into the wind and you're planning for that, it's really easy. If it dies, it's going to go out there. If you overcompensate and it gusts that way, it's going to go. It's not difficult to bowl with the wind coming across.
Marco Janssen, that one is a little bit quicker and it bounces a little bit more and is through to the keeper, which is of course QDK, isn't it? Quentin de Kock. and it means that at the end of the over, it's 11 without
One
loss.
more ball to
One more
come?
ball, I beg your pardon. However,
One more ball.
we do have a super chat, Messrs. I don't know if you want to
I know. Yeah, I
leap
was going to do
straight
that.
upon
I
it.
was waiting for this ball to pass.
Well,
seem
I'll
to
give
be
it.
taking their
I'll give it
time.
with this while we wait.
Super chat.
Janssen, left arm over, that swings in again. It's straight driven by Kohli now. I don't think he's got quite enough on that, although the ball might win. Yes, it does. Two South African fielders were in hot pursuit. It wasn't
That was a
hot
shit first
enough.
over.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's a shocking start from Marco Janssen. It's a terrific start for Virat Kohli. He's on 14, Rohit on 1, and 15 without loss. Good start for India.
It's got to be said,
Yes,
Janssen.
indeed.
Well, go for it, Messi. No, I will say.
Yeah, Janssen's often like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Either good or bad. Sagir has very kindly donated 10 Australian dollars for a fabulous World Cup coverage by Guerrilla Cricket. Thank you all. Well, thank you very much, Sagir, and thank you for being part of it. I'm not going to have time to read all the messages, but just to let you know, some of the people with us are Leah, Mog, Kieran Roseblade, Dara Azizi, Stephen Kelk, Sagnit Datta, Saimar, and Mayank.
Mike.
So the usual suspects, really. Saimar's not been with us that often, but he's been with us for a long time. I'm pleased to
Indeed.
say.
This is true.
Lovely to have you all on board.
Mayank was in the stadium for a lot of the early games in New York,
Yeah, it
wasn't it?
was.
Was it New York you were at, Mayank? I think it was. Yes, you were, because we
Yes.
were discussing the hospitality packages at in Long Island. It's going to be
And
spin,
Jay
Maharaj.
October is too. Hey.
Oh, that's beautifully played by Rohit.
Bit uppish.
It was, but it was safe enough. It's well wide of. Did they have a slip? I'm not sure.
They did have a slip.
But it's guided away down to third man by Rohit. It's 4 more, and it's 4 off the first delivery from Maharaj.
Whoa.
Where is Maharaj? Yeah, no, I think he played
Muttley's
it
with us, and I have to apologise to Saimar, who is a she, not a he. I did think about
Maharaj,
that,
that's swept.
making that assumption.
Reverse swept by Rohit. Down that goes again. Magnificently well.
Wow.
And it's 4 more. This is a full-on attacking start by India. 15 off the first over, 8 off the first 2 balls of this Maharaj over. Wow.
Giuliani had his reasons for selecting his landscape seasons. There were 4.
Plays that so well, does Rohit, the reverse sweep. Look at the way he just... was it not even premeditated, you don't think? He just seems to be able to make his decisions so late. That's nicely defended into the offside. Better ball from Maharaj. There's definitely a bit of turn there.
Yeah, there is. I just think they're really battling hard with this win, to be honest.
Thoughtful looking Virat Kohli. Or maybe it's just he's posing, looking pensive for the camera. Swept. Conventional sweep this time. Taken, I think. Goodness me, by Classen, diving away to his left in front of square. And Rohit, who had looked in quite imperious form, has swept Maharaj straight to backward square. It was taken on the dive by Classen, and India, after a full-on electrifying start, have nonetheless lost their first wicket.
Oh, that was well taken.
Beautiful catch.
Got my under just.
Well, Rohit's gone for 9. Do we put the camera on Rohit initially? No, of course we don't. The most important thing is to see what Virat thought of it.
Yeah.
So we had a quick focus in on him. It's 23 for 1, and you feel a little bit there that
Well, they needed
they
that.
kind of needed that,
They
because these
really
two
needed
looked
that.
like they could easily get away.
Get
It's going to be Rishabh Pant.
Get another quick one, and suddenly things do change.
Settled nicely into that number 3 berth. Now he's back amongst the India team is Rishabh Pant. Here he is. One of our shorter Mog jingles. Even by Mog standard, that's concise. But yep, In he comes. So we've had 8 runs off this over, a dot ball and a wicket for Maharaj. First 2 balls, he was probably thinking, oh my lord. But he's pulled it back magnificently. One that turned away from the right-handed Rohit, and then one that Rohit was very keen to get on with it. Pulled quite meatilely, but not straight to Classen at backward square, because Classen had to really dive. Wouldn't call it a worldie, but it was certainly an excellent catch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I thought he hit it along the ground, and I couldn't understand why he was.
So for Pant, we got a little ring of about 5, I think, on the offside. That one comes back in by Maharaj to the left-handed Pant. So that's what you call bare bowling to your field.
Aye.
It did the job, didn't it?
Yeah. He just bowled on that, tight on that off stump against the lefty. Middle and off. 1 ball left for Maharaj. Left arm over. That's gone straight up in the air. It's going to be taken. It is. And would you believe it? After that electrifying start now. Pant, has he gone? No, I think he didn't get anything on it. There's a big debate. That is definitely gaffers. Well, Pant's not going anywhere, so he's reviewed it. So he doesn't think he hit it or it went into the ground. I thought it came off his boot.
Yeah, they have reviewed. South Africa, I beg your pardon, seemed utterly convinced.
The umpires have reviewed. None of the players have. Because
Well, I'm not sure what happened. I thought he kicked it and it sort of came off his boot. It was a very full delivery, wasn't it? It was on its way down. I mean, it hadn't pitched, so I don't know how it ended up being a catch, because if it's on its way down, the only way it can be catch is if it's off the bottom edge into his boot and then up.
Richard Kettler's the third umpire.
No,
that's a top edge.
It's a top edge.
It's gone straight up in the air. Quentin de Kock, I think, knew that. He was confident. Possibly the reason India... Well, Pant knew that. And he obviously thought, we're going to lose a review if I review. But if the umpires want to review it, I might as well stand my ground.
Yeah.
Or he just didn't know because the ball nearly did. But surely that's out to me.
That is out.
That's
very much out.
It hit the ground at the same time, I think. So, he might have some excuse for not knowing. But
it's 23 for 2, my goodness me. It's it's an all-action start, boys.
Well, that
certainly is.
Even for 23 off 2 overs, that makes it an even start, doesn't it? Suddenly picking up those 2 wickets.
I could change. I was gonna go out strange.
23 for 2, end of 2 overs, both to Keshav Maharaj. Messers.
Farong's with us. He says, Saturday evening, greetings to all. I hope everyone's well. IPL North versus IPL South. I'll always support the Southern Hemisphere teams in any sport against them up north. Only listen because it's a form of cricket, I guess. Sends a picture of the pitch and says, is cement dust added? It looks weird. And back on YouTube, collapse is on, boys, says Mayank.
I'm betting on the collapse, don't you worry.
Well, Virat Kohli
certainly has Josie Oak vibes about his predictions.
Rabada is in. It's left by Kohli, who's a little watchful there as he watches it by taken shoulder height by Quentin de Kock. Let's quickly jingle up Kagiso Rabada.
What's his name? He's a high roller, rock and roller, scariest, deadliest, killing this bowler. He can sink your oats like the Spanish Armada. No one faster, no one harder. What's his name? What's his name?
In he comes, Kagiso Rabada, defended by Kohli out towards cover. No run. 2 dot balls, good tight start from Rabada. So it offers a bit of everything, does this Barbados surface by and large. Second most wickets to pace after New York in this tournament, and yet traditionally it's also been a pitch that encourages spin, hence the fact
160 to 180 appears to be a reasonably good score here, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. The average first innings score in this competition, although it's been dragged down by a couple of sort of lesser lights, as it were, that's flicked quite riskily by Kohli, but straight to mid-on, no run. 3 dot balls to start Rabada's over. 132 for this tournament. I'm just looking. 109 it started with, didn't it? The first match, which went to a super over, if you remember. Can you remember back that far?
Oh Christ! Yeah, that was Namibia.
That was Oman, I think.
Yes.
Top score was 201, which was by Australia, thumping England. Second highest score, 181 for 8. The rest pretty middling, hence it's only 132 average first inning score for this tournament. I think it's about 160 odd if you look at the CPL over the last couple of years. This one is steered by Kohli to backward point, and Rabada does concede his first runs. He got stood tall nicely. Tristan Stubbs, the fielder there, his South Africa cap pulled down on his head, meaning that he's got this flowing mane of lustrous locks that stick out the back. I only describe it because I'm completely jealous of it. 24 for 2.
I'm sure you can grow your hair long, can't you?
Well, I can, but I always think
No,
a bald top
hair's-
and long hair down the side's not a good look.
Well, my hair's really long at the moment. It's so fine and old and grey that it just looks terrible. I need a haircut. But I've been saying that for about 2 months now.
Silakumar Yadav is facing after that single as his first ball, and he defends it, and they do not run, which means I also need to jingle up the man they call Sky.
Surya Kumar, Surya. Now I know the others might have let you down. It's not too late to play Surya.
Last ball of the
now.
Rabada over. It's gone for a single. He has a slip. That's been launched high. Has it gone far enough? It just beats the man at mid-off. Only just. My goodness me. He was running backwards. He put in a dive.
I think he
it
fell over.
Gets 2 for Rabada. So the over's gone for 3. He won't mind that. That's been pretty economical. And he could easily have had Sirakumar Yadav off the last ball of it. He didn't. It went for 2. And we move on, Messers.
Yes, so Wickets is with us, says, morning all. Carl Herbert, too. He says the World Cup of choking is underway.
Yes.
Muttley says, is it really a review if the umpire goes straight to the third umpire? Well, that's what the third umpire says. He says, we have an umpire review.
It was a funny one, though, wasn't it?
Says, evening all. Terribly conflicted about who I want to win here. The significant other suggests the best outcome may be match abandoned due to a swarm of killer bees.
And they share, and they share it.
Exciting.
That's thrown up by Maharaj. It's slapped away, but a
good bit
superb
of
diving
Miller.
stop by David Miller, who's down there. Well, I guess it was sort of long off, but he
Pretty wide.
really a wideish long off. But he made it round to deep extra and then put in the dive and scooped it back just before the ball bumped into that sponge.
That was too full.
Was too full. Was slapped quite wristily by Virat, but I don't think he got quite all of it. Anyway, in Maharaj, that turns as Virat Kohli prodding at it somewhat nervously, suspiciously perhaps. 28 for 2, 8.4 the run rate. And Maharaj is really getting that ball to tweaking it, isn't he? Here's what's he got this time. Defended in front of his off stump by Kohli, out to the offside, no run. And after an explosive start, those 2 wickets mean that this has really slowed India down, Beth.
Yeah, and they fucking needed it as well, didn't it? Because it was suddenly it's looking like Rohit was going to take the game away.
In comes
from
Maharaj. Up onto his toes goes his Kohliness. This one I don't think Miller's going to get. He doesn't look like a man who ever thought he was in the game there. It was slapped away through extra cover and slapped by his Kohliness for one of these.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Doesn't look as helpful as that Providence wicket.
No, it doesn't. But it is definitely offering something for spin and pace, as that one is turned away around the corner by Virat Kohli, fielded at short backward square. It's a 6 from this over. Could have been 8, but for a fine fielding effort out there at on the cover boundary by David Miller. That one is guided straight to point though this time
Good
by
fielding again.
Virat Kohli. It's the tall frame of Marco Jansen, who like a felled tree fell to his left and managed to fall on the ball and prevent any runs. So after 4 it's 32 for 2, Messers.
Hattie the Maddie's with us. She says, oh Lord, came running up from the car shouting I'm late and seem to have missed a lot. Yes, you have, but there's lots more to come. Nick Vickers says, greetings everyone, I'm back in the Proteas today, but the question is, have the stars aligned for Kohli to win the day? Okgaminza says, South Africa is winning this. We've just had a fantastic 2 years. World Cup rugby champs, UFC champs, third in AFCON, and now we're going to win the T20 World Cup.
Wow,
Slimer says,
confident.
in the US we call it a challenge. The teams ask.
Rabada is in. It's guided down to third man. Shamsi, the fielder, I think, if I could see that right. And they take a single. So Virat Kohli back onto strike. He's 3 short of what I think would be his highest score of the tournament. Which tells you it's not been a great tournament.
He's definitely on for 100, isn't he?
Well, 24. He's got to get past 24 first. That's his highest score.
It's a final. It's Kohli.
Which he got against Afghanistan.
Kohli will be all over him today.
No, that one's nicely driven out towards mid-off. They take another sharp single. Sirakumar on Kohli moves on to 22. So he's got 2 more to overhaul, or to equal rather, his highest score of the tournament. Rabada, he's always quite a feisty, fired up character, I think. You sense with Rabada there's always a moment that could happen. Plays with his heart very much on his sleeve. That one's launched high. Is it launched far enough? There's a man coming round. It's taken. It's taken. That's got to be. Is that Classen? Yes, it is. That's his second catch. He was deeper and a little bit less square this time than the first catch he took. He was short square then. There he was on the deep square boundary. Around he came, dived to his left. Second diving catch for him, and he's got rid of Sirakumar Yadav. It's a wicket for Rabada. Sirakumar Yadav had launched it. Round came, I'm pretty sure that's Classen, isn't it? He's celebrating as he hits the ground, lying on his back. It means that the third wicket for India has fallen, and South Africa are looking like they're on top here. Well. Lot can change, of course.
I'm a loser. Yeah, I'm a loser, babe. I'm just a loser.
The bear, what are you doing?
That definitely came through slower than Yadav was expecting.
It did.
He was sort of through the shot by the time he hit it.
What are you trying to do? Oh, okay. Where do you want it?
I put it. Number 6.
Okay. Number 6. Okay, I shall play it here. This is what the bear was desperately trying to do. Is it one of these?
Dude, it's your big chance. Don't blow it. You're probably going to blow it. You're gonna choke again. You're gonna choke again.
Well, I think you're a tad premature there, Bear.
Oh, I don't know.
Me too.
I know you're just having your passport changed to become 100% South African, but none.
Getting the other way, yeah. I'm going to go and play for the South African team.
Rabada in amongst the wickets for him. The wickets have gone down at 23, 23 and 34. He's quick and over the wicket, but whipped nicely off his pads by the new man, Axar Patel, and I think that might go all the way to the square boundary. It does. He's often running with a 4, or often not running, because it's a boundary. Fine shot too. Excellent shot that, and it means 38 for 3. Andy is going to start looming. He's looking very dapper today. Black t-shirt, black cap. He's got a sort of a, I don't know, Iron Maiden roadie look about him somehow, I think.
Sagnik asked what we reckon a good score would be.
Rabada in.
160.
Driven straight towards point, no run by Axar Patel. I have needed to jingle up him, didn't I? Axar, although I think it's a slightly different Axar Patel jingle, this one. Let's see. It is.
Axar Patel. Axar Patel.
1 ball left of this over. Nearly 5 completed. Rabada in, up onto his toes. Cut! Oh, it's somehow evaded a man at backward point, and he'll be disappointed by that. But Classen, who is in the they shall not pass mode here, he's already taken 2 fantastic catches. He limits them to a single, and it means that we're about to have a little change. I think I'm staying where I am. Messers to take over social duties. I'll need to do that. I can do that.
Yep. There's lots of stuff on YouTube. Lots of
Who's
stuff
coming
from
in?
Mayank there.
Andy's going to take over ball by ball. Steve, who is also looking remarkably dapper, as ever. It doesn't look quite so Iron Maiden roadie-ish, though. You still look like an accountant, Steve. I'm sorry. In a good way. 39 for 3, 5 overs complete. Andy.
Well, Steve, we were sitting in the green room, and after an over and a half, I think India are running away with this.
It was a bit one-sided, wasn't it? But
Ooh,
it's all
hello.
turned around, and those ladies are back as well,
Goodness
Andy.
me,
We
I hope
enjoyed
the
that.
wind doesn't blow their costumes off.
I think there's a lot to blow, let's be honest.
Oh, you don't get
Good
many of them. Don't get
afternoon,
many of them to
gorillas.
the pound. Right, and perhaps a surprise, perhaps not, as in South Africa's captain comes on to bowl. Clipped out to deep mid wicket for a single.
Cause he's a grinner, a part-time spinner, and this Safa, yes he's a winner. Playing his shots out in the sun. He's a stroker, not mediocre. He's no World Cup choker. He gets us moving with his runs. Woo! I don't mark them.
He's doing so many things.
Markram's second ball was clipped through square leg aerially for a moment. I was just wondering about that one. And when I checked the betting markets just before I came on, they couldn't split them. 10 to 11 each after those 3 wickets. Clipped into the leg side there by Axar. Now, Steve, Axar has come in 5, I think, because they didn't fancy sending Dubé in the power play.
I think you are probably right. I'm quite interested to think what Kohli's thinking of all this. He's been struggling for runs, and here he is, bipped away quite nicely, and the other end they're all disappearing. Faster than he can blink.
Yep, and Rohit and Pant have been big contributors for India in this tournament, possibly the 2 biggest so far.
Rohit especially.
He's been fantastic. Yes, really turning back the clock. Anyway, Kohli, as you say, is on 23. Slowed down a little bit after a quick start. Punches that one up to long on. He'll get a single. Yeah, Dubé's a funny one. He's a very good player of spin. He's not a very good player of pace. They dropped him down to 7 in the semi-final, and he got first baller. You start to wonder why he's in the team, but I guess they didn't want to make a change just before the final. I mean, I would have thought India would rather have Samson coming in now, but who am I to say? And Axar, in the meantime, clips it out to deep square. He'll get a single. Are you familiar with the role of pinch blocker, Steve?
No. What does he do?
He sort of blocks it for a bit and sort of uses up some balls and sort of hits a run of ball for a bit and then allowing the hitters to come in a bit later. Ashwin does this a lot in the IPL, and I think Axar is kind of in that role here. Kohli flicks that one into the leg side.
Deliberately, or is that just the way he plays?
No, it's got to be some kind of plan. I mean, I don't mean blocking literally, but someone who's not going to go mad, who's going to take it a bit deeper. And again, it's not necessarily a recognised batsman. So it gives Hardik and Dubé and Jadeja
bedding in time.
Yes, exactly. What have you got for us, Tony?
Loads. Rishis Kakanza. South Africa have officially given India the choking word. Hattie the Batty just saying hi, I think, to Sagir, which is nice. Mayank, Kohli, Cam can be on him as much as they want. He's the man. Fair enough, Mayank. Sagir says, so far India's consistent players throughout the tournament have departed cheaply. Rohit, Pant and Sky. Now it's up to the non-performers to stand up and post a reasonable total. Mayank says, I said the collapse is on. I wasn't being negative. Messi just realistic. The choke cup is India's to fuck up.
Noja.
Sagnik Datta. Looking at the pitch, what do you guys reckon will be a good score?
Just going to ask about that,
Well,
but before we do, the new bowler is going to come in. It's the middle overs enforcer. It's dropped in front of point. They'll get through for 1. They might think about 2. No.
Here's your new bowler.
If your number one project is to have yourself a bride, I think I've got your number one guy. He was bought by a franchise when he was buying meat. It's Unrik, okay.
Well, what I think, Steve, is that I wouldn't attribute any of the 3 wickets to any movement off the pitch. And I think it looks a good pitch.
Yeah, it looks, yeah. It certainly looked it for the first 8 balls, didn't it?
It certainly did, yeah.
So upwards of 160?
I think so.
Yeah. I think the first prediction came up saying 158, didn't it?
Yeah, I think a little bit high. I think that was before they lost the 3rd wicket. And they dropped one into the offside there for a single.
Just, until that moment when Rohit went.
Those 2 wickets for Maharaj, both off sweep shots. Certainly couldn't blame Pants on the pitch because it was a full toss. And Barbados was just a ball down the leg side, and Sky's normally so good at that shot. That one just angles the bat Axar, punches it out to the sweeper on the offside for a single.
Been a while since a boundary, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
I wouldn't have predicted a score under 50 at the end of the power play, but the way they started.
Not the start they had.
They've done well, South Africa, to pull it back.
They have.
Especially that man on screen, Classen.
Yep, 2 catches for him.
Both good catches too, weren't they?
Catches, yeah.
Yep.
Not
should have taken them, but he did what he should have done. So.
Well, both on the move to a certain extent.
I think it's fair to say an international cricketer should take both of those, but they still have a bit of work to do. Nortje is into Kohli, hits him on the pad, loops up, doesn't go anywhere, there's no run. But yeah, I wonder if India will get a bit spooked by these wickets, and end up, going a bit too slowly. We'll see.
I don't think they ever go too slowly, India, do they?
Well, they've a bit of a history of it in the past. They've been good in this tournament. I think a lot of it's come from Rohit, who set the tone at the top, and as captain, which counts for a lot. He's back in the hutch now, though. A man who does like to take it deep, Virat Kohli. Goes for a pull, just really swats it down to long leg. It'll just be a single. Fielders almost bump into each other in their eagerness to get to the ball.
Good to see, though.
Yeah, as long as you don't take it too far. You're not actually smashing into each other. And just that one over from Janssen blotting the South African copybook so far. First over went for 15, with Virat Kohli tucking into some full balls. A bit more difficult since then. Here comes Nortje to complete the over, onto leg stump, and Axar, he's just there to milk the wands for the moment. He does that out to deep mid-wicket. That's the end of the over. It's 49 for 3 off 7.
Right, Mayank says 100% perfect jingle for Sky. He's the biggest fucking loser on this team. Dubé as well, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt since he's brand new to the team. Sagnik Dutta looking at the pitch. Well, we've answered that question, haven't we? None of the old boring stuff, get the good stuff, only classic jingles is what Mayank's saying. CK Gangamingza says, has India made the right decision to bat first? Doesn't seem to have been so. Markram said he would have batted. None of this bluffing. He absolutely said no, I wanted to bat as well. Hattie the Batty says, wonder what the odds would be for Kohli as the last man standing. Well, they're getting shorter, I reckon. Carl Herbert, Classen went full salmon for that catch. Yes, he did. Classen looks on today, says Sagnik Dutta.
Markram is in again, and that one is punched up to long on again by Axar for a single. That's 50 for India, 50 for 3.
Mike says South Africa can't be counting their chickens yet. Go along with that.
Is this going to come down to which team can sort of remove the occasion and just play it as a normal game? You can let me know after this ball. It's just clipped up too long on. They'll get an easy one. Yes, what do you think, Steve?
I think they're experienced enough to treat it like that. These guys playing all sorts of big tournaments, aren't they? Especially the Indians.
First ever World Cup final for South Africa, though. That's got to play on their minds
in any
a little
format,
bit.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. Of cricket,
yes.
Not rugby.
We don't have to start going all Harry Kane here. Just because he said England hadn't won anything, everyone started piling into him saying we won the kayaking at the Olympics. Slog sweep by Axar, and I wasn't expecting that one, and it just clears deep mid wicket, but just is good enough.
Is that the
Yeah, that was more of a pinch slog.
A pinch hit.
A pinch hit.
Nice stroke, actually.
Yes, certainly committed to the slog sweeps. A little bit full from Markram,
Yeah, a
and
little
again
bit
suggesting that
overpitched.
I'm not seeing a ton of turn out
No.
here.
A little bit, but not a lot.
Seems to be coming on okay. Markram bravely pitches it up again. That's well bowled, and Axar can only york himself really and push it out to cover.
He's moved quite nicely to 17 off 12 balls. He's
Yeah,
hung
you
around.
plink a few singles, you hit a
Yeah.
6, and you're not doing too badly. As long as you keep it rotating, don't have too many dot balls. You didn't get hold of that one, tried the same shot, bottom edge of the bat, just rolls out to mid-wicket for a single.
There's that man Classen again.
Can't keep him out of the game, yep. But Markram will be happy enough with this over if he doesn't go for another boundary. Oh, that looks good.
Cool,
It
doesn't
looks
it?
brilliant.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
little
cool.
swimming
Yeah.
pool. I bet in the crowd. I bet it cost you a few bob to get in there.
Not entirely sure I'd want to be in it, I've got to be
No.
honest.
Maybe you can't see too much. No. The World Cup final kept a little bit low from Markram. Kohli went back, clipped it out to mid-wicket. They've almost decided that Axar is going to play the big shots for a bit. Anyway, it's 59 for 3 off 8.
Right, yes. Mayank reminds us Kohli's reached his highest score at the World Cup. Yes, he has. He got 24 against Afghanistan. He's on 29 here. CK Gamingza. If India are going to get 150, 160, Kohli needs to get a big score. Yeah, well, there's others that can, but you're probably right. I reckon a couple of these batters, says Sagir, need 70 odd. Kohli could get 70 to 80 and play as long as he can. Axar can score a handy 36 to 40, and Pandya can score about 40 odd. Not counting on it though. Dubey or Jadeja to do that much with the bat is what he's not counting on. Danzai thinks India's going to be 147 all out. Leah says Mayank, nope, he made 37 against Bangladesh. Oh, beg your pardon, I'd missed that one as well. Nick Vickers, Heinrich Classen is great, is setting a great example to keepers who haven't been given the gloves. Don't grumble, just take great catches in the field.
Don't sulk and be fat like certain Englishmen.
I wondered I wondered if that was aimed at anyone in particular.
Any ginger-haired person, is it?
Maharaj punches it up to long off to get a single. No sign of Shamsi yet. I'm sure we're going to see him soon enough.
I don't think I've ever jingled up Maharaj. Everything's happened at such
No,
amazing...
I think you did.
Oh, did
Yeah.
I? All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
then I won't do it again for sure.
Axar back on strike. Useful 18 off 13 from him so far. And he cuts slightly aerially, but there's no one in the ring there. It goes out to deep point for a single.
CK Gamingza thinks the batting's way too slow. Well, they're picking it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that burst of wickets did spook them a little bit.
Yeah, 7.32 is not a good enough rate yet, is it?
Because Maharaj to Kohli, and he's forward. Plays it up to wide, long on, get a single. And we're going to have left armour to left armour. Maharaj to Axar. We saw Maharaj bowling a cut ball. A ball from the spinner that's easy to cut, but not necessarily... Where he didn't do that time, he bowled a slog sweep ball, and Axar said, thank you very much, and knocked it over mid-wicket for a comfortable 6 this time.
An elegant lefty 6, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is turning into a more than useful innings from Axar. 25 off 15.
I don't think he's your pinch blocker. Not if he's playing like that.
No, he's getting his eye in, and he's...
Well, he did it for about 6 balls, didn't he? And 84 metres, good smoked.
Yep, maybe what Maharaj should be looking to do, as I was saying, bowl these cut balls that are easy to cut, but not easy to hit for a boundary when you've got the field set for them. Maybe, I don't think we'll see the 4th over from Maharaj after this one immediately. That one's played out to cover though by Axar, and there's no run.
He's got those 2 key wickets there.
He did in the second over. In the
one over,
yeah, second over. Yeah, I know they already had 20, but it was the second over. Yeah. Coming to complete this over from his point of view. Might argue it has only gone for 9 so far if you can get out of it okay, and he can as Axar. In fact, that's a dot ball. Mid wicket is up. It wasn't so bad in the end, 1-6, but only 9 in total, and 68 for 3 off 9.
Carl Herbert's got a slightly different point of view on something. He says Markram sneaking a few overs so Janssen doesn't need to bowl again. He didn't bowl well early on, did he?
Yeah, possibly.
Immediately got clipped away by Kohli twice. South Africa going negative early. Touch of the South Gates, maybe. Sagir says the matchup is in Axar's favour. I think he's talking against Keshav Marshall Araj, isn't he? In that particular instance, in which case I'd probably agree with you.
Another change of bowling.
Yeah, this is the one I was probably expecting.
Aha, this will be interesting. And it is... Oh, I don't know, I can't find him. Oh,
I'm sure he's
here
in
he
there
is.
somewhere.
I got him.
He's got him. He's got him.
And I say, hey,
throws that one outside off stump, and he was expecting extravagant turn for that one. It wasn't there.
That's the first wide, I think. First extra of any kind, which is not bad. 9 overs in.
Yeah, it's good. But that certainly was a wide. No doubt about that one. And a close-up of Quinton de Kock's gloves for some reason. That's on target and punched up to long on by Kohli for a single. So who do you think's on top at the moment, Steve?
I don't think either team is actually. It's quite balanced.
I think I might agree. Yep.
It went all India's way for the very, very beginning. Nicely brought back by South Africa, and I think India are sort of trucking along, doing something quite important, which is not losing wickets and just keeping the scoreboard ticking over. So.
Shamsi, that's a good ball. Pitched up, Axar outside half of the bat. There might have been a single there, but they didn't fancy it. Into just between point and extra cover.
Jadeja prowling in the pavilion. Projected score 177.
Quite a stiff breeze blowing across the ground. Shamsi's in against another good ball. That's where he wants to bowl. It's full, it's threatening the stumps. Something India's spinners did very well against England. They bowled a lot of balls on the stumps. And this has slowed Axar down just a little bit. Is he going to go for a big slog sweep? Is he going to go for another one against Shamsi? Ball's turning in the other direction. Yeah, he goes back, clips into the leg side, into the wide open spaces, but they're not at all interested in going for 2. It's stroll through for 1. And Kohli, after a quick start, 32 off 27. A very quick start, because he got 3 boundaries in the first over. He's been going less than a run of ball since then. Well, he'll say he knows what he's doing.
Still there.
He is still there. Shamsi left arm over to the right-handed Kohli, onto the pads, clipped past short fine leg, who might have done a little bit better, but his mate's backing him up, David Miller, so they'll get back for 2. One more ball and we'll have a drinks break and a changeover.
I think, Steve, you're going to manoeuvre over here and be Rick Wakeman.
See a bit more urgency from Kohli getting through for 2 there. Shamsi's in outside the off stump. A sweep from Kohli should be fielded. It is by Tristan Stubbs. They should get back for 2 again. Ooh, it might have been a direct hit. I think he's in, but a direct hit from the boundary is nothing to sneeze at. They're going to have a look at this. It looks in to me, but it was pinged it in from the boundary and hit the stumps. Are we going to have another look at that, or does everyone just think it's in? I think everyone just thinks in.
It looks safe enough to me.
The South Africans weren't excited, were they?
Is that us done?
Yes.
Okay, Steve, I'll move. Mog, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, I think Farong and Virat Kohli playing football is next on Twitter, and I haven't looked at YouTube, but I'm sure you were listening.
Good Lord, is it that time already?
Hello, everyone.
Hi there, Messi. Hi, Sagir. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you going?
Not too bad. Not too bad. What do you think of the game so far?
Well, I think it's at a really interesting juncture over here. South Africa made those very early inroads. I don't think India expected it to be this way. I think they started really strong, and then South Africa pulled back with 3 really quick wickets. And it's good to see that they have shown a little bit of flexibility in sending up Akshar at the top, because they have kept Hardik and Jadeja and even Shivam Dube, depending on how he plays today, towards the end to get those quick runs in the latter stages of the game. And so far, Akshar has been doing a good job, not only holding one end up, but also keeping the scoring rate going. Because as Carl Herbert pointed out in the chat, that after Kohli's first 2 balls that he's faced, his strike rate is less than 100. So Kohli's basically just keeping one end tied up, but he's not scoring as well as he should, which is something that we have noticed about Kohli for a long, long time now, that these middle overs, once spin comes on, his strike rate drops quite significantly. But given the match situation, I think it's important that he stays maybe till at least the 14th or even the 15th over.
Thank you. Hi, Mog.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm super, thanks for asking.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. You enjoying the
Go
game?
South Africa.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy it more when India's all out for under 100.
So, Morg, are you going to give me a figure then for the cost of the jingle?
$1 million will start the bidding. Let the negotiations commence from there.
I'll give you $1.
You're not missing anything. We're still on the drinks break, so I think we're actually getting back to the ground. Some beautiful pictures of the Caribbean Sea, but Jansen, who got tanked in that first over, looks like he's coming back into the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Redemption story.
Yeah, do be earmarked to come in at the next wicket down. We'll see.
I think I'd much rather Hardik come after the fall of the next wicket rather than Dube.
Yeah.
Dube hasn't been in really good form at all.
Anyway, Jansen is in and he's greeted by a huge swipe by Axar. And the ball top edges, ends up down towards third man, but not actually anywhere near someone able to catch it. So another run to the score, 76 for 3. He looked like he was sort of going to carry on as the first over for a moment, but anyway, wasn't really a very good ball, mid-track, and not a very good shot by Axar either. But anyway, 1 to the score, no wicket.
South Africa's ground fielding has been really, really good today, hasn't it?
It has. It usually is, though, isn't
energetic.
it? Yeah, it usually is, though. 4 in the circle. Kohli awaits Jansen. Let's see if he carries on as he did the first over. No, he just punches us through mid-wicket. Man from the deep boundary comes in, restricts them to just the single. Jansen got much tidier looking figures in this over, 1 and 1. He'll have settled his nerves a little bit.
Morg and I don't seem to be on the YouTube feed. People are mentioning that both of us are talking from the infinite void.
Jansen in again, and this one, left-handed Axar just guides this way down to the man at third man. Bears coming in to sort things out on the technical front.
apparently my voice is sounding a bit weird as well. So
sounds good
is
to
it
me.
still
No?
sounding weird?
No, sounds good. It's coming through clear on my earphones.
Stephen Kelk suggested the two empty chairs just to symbolise that I'm calling from the infinite void.
Yeah. But now we're back on.
In again, and Coley pulls this through square leg. It's Classen comes dashing in, hurls it at the bowler's end. No one actually gathers it at the stump side. It's backed up. Just after all that, one more run onto the Indian score. Goes through a very quiet phase this game. There's nothing very exciting, not boundaries. That got quite big actually on Coley on the replay, hence why I didn't dispatch it to the boundary.
The boring
I guess this is what happens when you're not in the IPL, isn't it?
Yeah, and Jansen into Axar, and Axar plays exactly the same shot as he played last time, just guiding it down to the man at third man for a single. So where they've been pitching it, length balls about 60% of the time, in the slot 25% of the time. But that's probably in that first over actually, I suspect.
I'm not sure if they're showing Marco Jansen's deliveries or overall. It looks like it's Jansen's, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
There were 7 balls on that little chart.
And this one is down leg side. It's going to be called a wide. Coley misses it as he flicks the bat at it, but the Indian score moves through to 81 for 3 in the 11th over. Another ball to be bowled to complete it. Jansen's got a very sort of lethargic way of returning to his mark, hasn't he? No energy in that. And he ambles in on his run-up as well. It's all very, very calm. Here he goes. Past the umpire. This one is short again, and again it's attempted pull by Coley. It just ends up going at the 45 on the leg side, and de Kock runs around to complete the fielding. End of the 11th over, 82 for 3. Any messages anywhere?
Some suspicious character called Sagir Parker has given us a super chat of 5 little Aussie battlers for Bear's technical intervention.
Your generosity, thank you.
Mr. Franeman says South Africa needs a wicket urgently, and Nick Vickers says, well, guerrilla cricket is another dimension when compared to its competition. Possibly a hell dimension, but we'll see.
Right, we've got the ground staff out here putting some sawdust down, so talk away, Mog.
Leah says South Africa might not be on top, but they certainly don't look like the power bottoms they used to be in the later stages of ICC tournaments. So, it remains to be seen.
Kohli has been a bit uncomfortable against Jansen in that last over.
Yeah,
I mean,
the ball got onto
first over. Yeah, first over he scored those 2 boundaries, and then this over he couldn't even time the ball properly, even if it was like a rolled pull along the ground.
Shamsi is going to continue. 2 lefties working in tandem at the moment for the South Africans. And Kohli just prods us into the mid-wicket area where it's fielded. No run.
There used to be a time when Kohli used to give himself a little bit of a room and use his wrists to drive that ball through covers or extra covers. But nowadays, he seems to have lost that ability, and he tries to play it more along mid-on to mid-wicket.
He plays a lot through there these days, doesn't he? As he does with this ball, actually, just behind square. But certainly leg-sided it for a single. He's now just readjusting his bat handle. Maybe that's the problem, Sagir. Maybe that's the problem, Sagir. The grip's not right.
Probably. Yeah, there was some chit-chat amongst my friends that Kohli's wife should have been pregnant again.
Oh, he goes for that leg side hoik. Gets a slight inside edge onto the pad. Hence why no appeal. So one more onto the score. A little bit of excitement there from the South Africans. Just watch this one again. It turned a little bit from bottom edge of the bat onto the pad. So Shamsi looks to the sky and wonders how close he got to getting that one through, but just enough of the bat on it. He's in again. This one is a bit leg side, and Kohli's going to just rock back and flicks it away to a fine leg sort of area, and balls back in with de Kock. They like their arrows here, don't they, to give us an idea of where the wind's coming from.
Yeah.
Is that guy from that whatever? Is that guy from the Oval, wherever, shooting his arrows at the crowd again? At the ground again?
Yeah. You would have thought he'd have killed someone by now. The size of these arrows.
Look at them, they're like trebuchet from a scorpion or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe Robin Hood and his merry band are there.
And this, it was a big hit by XR, straight man from long on, came dashing around. Barbados, I think it is, tries to get there, he missed it, and the ball just about carried over the boundary for a full 6 for one of these.
I believe in miracles. Since you came to bat, you 60 thing, you 60 thing, you. I believe in miracles.
This is flicked away. Are they going to take 2? Yes, they've got back for 2. Good running there. So XR continues to move the score along a little bit. Messages, chaps?
It's at the end of the over already, jeez.
Quick.
Brian in Brisbane says the doorbell at GC Towers about 5 p.m.
I don't
That's
know.
a message for people at Gorilla Towers.
Yeah.
Carl Herbert says, Coley showing the intent of a stoned bear. It's a bit harsh. He's much less exciting than that. And Stephen Kelk says, I'm intrigued by the background of your Zoom feed, Sagir. Are you in a spaceship?
Only.
Doesn't look it, but there you go.
He's dialing in from Venus, apparently. So.
Black and Blue says, Vickers. Sorry.
Right, Nokia is back into the attack. And this one is pitched up and attempted Yorker, and Coley's able to dig it out, squirt it away through mid-wicket and add 1 to the score. India into the 90s, 94 for 3 in the 13th over. Carlos Braithwaite on TV giving us a little bit of a pitch inspection and a little bit of a explanation about the wind. No arrows though this time, Mog.
He's explaining gravity. This is how gravity works. If you pick up some grass and drop it,
and to think that Newton had to wait for some.
I
think that Newton had to wait for some crummy old apple to fall down.
Nokia to the left-handed, over the stumps actually, to the left-handed XR, and this one is just punched into the offside and they can go through for a single. And if it wasn't for gravity, Carlos is saying, we'd all be floating in the sky like these chaps over here.
But luckily they invented the Higgs boson that gives things mass, which then impacts on space-time and something cricket.
I'm still a bit surprised that the ground isn't full, even for a final.
Yeah. In Barbados places as well.
Yeah,
this one is
and
just
it's not like it's a 100,000 capacity ground.
Yeah.
It's 25-30,000, isn't it?
Yeah, it's marvelous. I would think 2/3 full, something like that.
Seem a lot of empty seats up behind him. Eh?
Anyway, that third ball of the over from Nokia was outside Coley's off stump. He tried to jab it away through the offside. Played it straight to the fielder. Dot ball. Coley's 42 off 37. That run rate's coming back down to 100 all the way. Strike rate 114 at the moment. Nokia in. This is a slower ball, fuller ball, and this time Coley has got it away past that man at point, but it's just for a single. He moves on to 43. One strike away from the 100, the Indians. Will they get it in this over? They haven't hit a boundary for quite a while, actually, have they? No, they had a 6. They had a 6 of that loss. Yeah, we haven't had a 4 for a while. I haven't jingled a 4 yet. I'm itching.
No,
come on, boys.
Not been any 5s either.
This one's down the leg side. I think that's going to be called a wide. And there go the.
Do you have a jingle for a 5?
I think so, actually.
Do we?
Whether or not it's loaded up, I don't know. And obviously, you'd like to think that there'll be plenty more 5s to come in this
match.
Particular match.
Yeah. I mean, you could get a 5 off a penalty as well, isn't it?
I suppose you could hit a 4 for no ball.
wide.
So
now, just because Steve asked, the last boundary was hit in the 5th over.
5th over, right? Oh, this ball's just outside off stump, and Exar's tried to do his repeat performance of guiding it down to third man. Just misses it. Just misses his off stump. Goes through to de Kock. So that was a little bit of fortune for Axar there, I think. His pace is 146, 142, 140, 128, 142, 142 from Nokia in this over. Not express, but it's consistent, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Kohli needs to press on the accelerator now rather than waiting for his 50.
This one is paddled through the leg side, through the mid-wicket area by Axar. Again, the Indians just keep that to a single, didn't make any effort to try to extend that. 98 for 3 after 13. What have we got in the messages box?
Kohli should hit out or get out. Farong summed it up at 10 overs by saying the pitch looks fair. They should be thinking of 10 runs per over for the remainder of the innings, and Hardik is in hand for Team Tata. Audacious Tata. Where are we? Sagnik Data says South Africa needs a wicket now. Yes they do. Mayank says they're not sold out. Tickets were as low as $80 are still available this morning. And the ICC sent emails this week saying please buy them. And Nick Vickers says $80 could be a bit steep for the locals though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's $80, isn't it?
Well, surely all the travelling Indians could fit in there.
This
there would be people who would have thought it.
Rabada back into the attack, and he's been greeted by Axar hitting him straight back over his head for the full Monty.
2 6s in a row. 2 6s in a row. 2 6s in a row.
Problems are not having my glasses on. Anyway, it was a lovely six, straight back, and cleared the red bar a long way.
Great timing. I think Kohli should take a cue from Akshar and start, pressing the accelerator here, because if you're not giving Hardik 5 or 6 overs to bat, you're just ruining your chances of maximizing your score on this pitch, because it's not a really dicey or tricky pitch.
Yeah. I mean, Axar's got to 46 off 30, and Kohli's still around 43 off 38, so there's a big difference. Rabada in again. Axar cuts him away through cover, and the deep fielder jogs around and restricts them to a single. Just watching that straight 6 again. It was a lovely strike. Hit the concrete, hit the brick wall.
Yeah, I'm surprised none of those security guards went for a catch.
They all ran away from it.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Doesn't bode well if they have to do any security.
Yeah. They're scared of a ball. Imagine if they would.
A man with a gun.
Someone on a drunken rampage.
Kohli is looking around at the field. When's he going to press the button? Rabada in again. Oh, dances down the track to Rabada. Rabada saw him, dropped it short over Kohli's head, and that's been called a wide. So.
Was that over his head though?
We're just going to double check.
Let's see.
I suspect that's not the ball.
No, it wasn't, was it?
Wide.
No. So it's the wide has stood. Oh, they made. The Indians made a bit of a hash of that one. They went, they stopped, they went. The ball's hit the stumps. It's clipped away, and it's gone for 4 overthrows.
Oh my God. This is
they are going to review the run out, because South Africa think they've got Axar, who was backing up quite a long way, and
they might actually have a run out over here.
Yeah, decision pending. Let's have a look. Great bit of fielding by the South Africans. It was de Kock actually.
Poor shot by Kohli though. That was actually going wide.
And he's out. He is short.
There you go.
Short by about 6 inches. Wow.
Explains why de Kock was celebrating like it was his birthday.
Maharaj
that could have been a wide if Kohli had just stood his ground.
Yeah. It wasn't a good ball. a right old mix-up in the middle by the Indians, and they've paid for it by losing the wicket of Axar, who was beginning to move things along really quite nicely.
Well done, Virat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, where is Kohli camera?
The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says you're out.
Kohli cam hasn't been as strong throughout this game.
No, they seem to be...
Or, in fact, maybe not so much throughout all the Indian games we've seen.
No, they have sent Doobie in.
Now comes my favorite jingle of the lot.
If I can find it.
Yeah.
We're shilling Dubé, treat the bowlers roughly. He's got the skills you need and he's quite buff, really. He's hitting sixes, not making duck eggs. So take this guy on if you feel like getting clubbed.
Good work, Morg. Good work. Love it.
Love it. Yeah, very good.
So Anglo-Saxon.
So India reduced to 106 for 4 in the 14th over. Rabada comes galloping in, and Kohli has smoked this up to the long on boundary. There is a fielder there, so it's only a run. He moves on to 44. Sagir, when's he going to get going? We're just watching a replay of...
I think he's probably waiting for his wife to call him and telling him...
Oh, right, he's allowed to...
Give me an ultimatum of sorts.
You better be back in time for dinner.
Yeah.
You won't be at this rate.
There's a few of my friends who were saying that, if only she were pregnant again, he would have stayed at home with her.
Right.
That would have given Jaiswal or Abhishek Sharma or somebody a chance, and that would have been much better for the team.
How many kids has he got now?
2 now.
2. So he's 1 behind Butler.
Well, I'm not sure who's keeping count over here.
Well, he dashed off, didn't he? 5th ball of Rabada's over as the new batsman Doobie has tried to hit it, but he's only succeeded in powering it into the ground, and the ball's bounced up to be comfortably fielded by the South Africans. Watching the still band rocking away on the boundary. So Rabada begins his run up to complete this, his 3rd over. Doobie's managed to get this away into the offside. The cover fielder just jogs around. It's only 1. End of the 14th. India 108 for 4. What's happening out there, Mog?
Leah suggests that run out was actually Axar's own fault. But no, we're going to blame Kohli.
Okay. We'll stick with that.
Yes. Nick Vickers says they could let some kids in free to help grow the game a bit, bus in some school kids in uniforms and such. And a Dave County Championship at Essex is $20. Maybe not quite like for like, but I'm certainly looking forward to going during my trip to England in August.
Yeah,
well, T20 international matches in Australia, the cheapest tickets are around $40 Australian. So just to put that into context, because if the cheapest tickets for this final are $80 US, that's a big difference.
That's about 140 Australian dollars.
Yeah.
I went to a T20 match at Sussex. It was 20 quid for the ticket. I thought it was good value.
The Namibia-Sri Lanka game at the last World Cup in Geelong was $56 a ticket, but that's because I picked one down near the fence.
Jansen is back into continuing into his 3rd over, and Doobie has just gone through a lovely full arc of the bat and hit the ball over his head to the boundary.
Well, this is why he's in the team, and he should be doing this more often.
And we've had one of those. It was a lovely swing of the bat. Do you think this is what he's going to be doing, Sergey?
Well, this is why he's in the team. He's in the team mostly because, supposedly because he plays spin well in those middle overs and hits the big shots. But we haven't seen much of that from Dubé in this tournament.
Well, that was a lovely shot. Looks like he's quite a good golfer, actually. It was a lovely little pitch shot.
Long levers, too.
This one, he just, Jansen gets the ball to climb into his ribcage, and he's able to just flick it away on the 45 down the leg side. Man from the boundary comes in and fills it. Just watching that again. Lovely strike.
Is he considered it to be a big unit? Doesn't look that big.
he's tall, but he's not, stocky or muscular like Peterson or Matthew Hayden for that matter.
No. 83 metres, that's 6.
An Adonis like Stoinis.
It's like Stoinis, yeah.
And Stoinis has got some serious guns.
Yeah, this one is wide outside off stump, and Coley attempts to dismiss it from his presence and only succeeds in bottom edging it, and the bowler fields the ball off his own bowling. So we're watching an example of Coley footwork. Not from this match, I might say.
No, these are all the ones that he's gotten out after coming down the track and completely misjudging the length.
He hasn't done much of that walking down the track today, has he? So.
No. I mean, I think people should just accept that Kohli is now on the wane. He's not at the peak of his prowess. I mean, he's still a really good batter, but he is not where he used to be, and I think we need to temper our expectations accordingly.
Consider mine tempered. This one climbs into Kohli's head. This one is a good ball actually from Jansen. Kohli's able to work it into the leg side. They've just ambled through to add another run to the score. They need to get a move on here. The 15th over, 116 for 4. I think South Africa will be much the happier of the teams at the moment. Indian fans getting very excited in the crowd. Well done them.
I think it's the camera's on them.
Oh yeah. The Kohli camera. Jansen in again. This is a full toss down leg side, but Dubey stepped away to the leg side and just plays it away through mid wicket. Adds another run to the score. One more ball to go.
Could have been a shot, like probably along mid wicket or sort of a little bit squarish in the air. Could have easily hit it for 6.
Yeah.
If he timed it properly. But it looks as if these two are in a very cautious, safety first kind of mindset. They're not playing any attacking shots at all.
Kohli has still not got to his 50. He's danced down the track to this one. He's hoiked it over. It's fallen short of the South African fielder. It's just one more to the score. So at the end of the 15th over, we've got to turn around at the studio. 118 for 4. Talk later, boys.
Time to hand over.
Bye.
Okay, I'll just take you through a little bit while we do this change over. India 118 for 4, and really should have a platform to go well in these last 5 overs, but Kohli's really got to find another gear from the one he's in at the moment, which is almost reverse. Sorry, Will's going to join us.
Will's going to join us. Indeed. I'm going to take you through the last 5. And it's set up quite nicely, isn't it, here? I should announce I got a run out finally, another one. 20-1 when Axar got run out.
Great celebrations.
Indeed. It's just tipped round the corner by Kohli, get himself another single. He's really slowed down, hasn't he? 46 or 43. I guess if Dubey can accelerate, you've got big hitting Pandya. Jadeja.
Well, Dubey's in the team to hit the spin. Yeah, here he is. Here's his chance.
Afternoon, Will. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Not too bad. Enjoying the weather. Although it's started to cloud over a bit. A nice warm day in London again.
Very nice. Very nice.
What are you trying to do, Andy? Make it this bigger?
Yeah. Make the text bigger, please. Yeah. Fantastic.
So I missed that. Dot ball. There you go. There's the bottom. You can go up and down with your 2 fingers like that.
Okay, thank you.
You can also open it on the iPad. But there you go. It's up to you. Shamsi is coming in. He's over the wicket to Dubey, who gets an under edge. It's nearly Yorks. And goes down to, I think, Jansen now at short third man. Just another single. I've gone under 166.5, which I think is in perilous danger. Although, what's that? 46 with 27 balls left. Yeah, should be in danger. Shamsi is slog swept hard by Kohli, but only out to the man at cow corner. Tristan Stubbs, and there'll be just the 1 run. He's got to accelerate now, Kohli. He's got to stop thinking about his wicket. We're in the time of the game. There's only 4 overs left after this one. Need to get at least 40 runs off these last 4 overs, plus whatever they can get off these last 2 balls. And 160, I think it'll be a challenging score. If they can get some early wickets.
I think, to be honest with you, 160 would be more than enough.
Oof, that's a fucking flat. Is that 6? If it was, it didn't get much about 10 feet across up the air. No, they're giving it as a 4. I'm not sure it didn't hit the sponge on the full.
4 on the floor, and 1 more 4 than the 4 before. That's what 4s are for, to get funky on the dance floor.
That was flat. Oh no, it did bounce just inside the boundary. No, he hit that hard. Shamsi, last ball of the over, is walloped straight up the pitch. It'll only be a single. Down to Rabada, who's at long off. And then ends the 16th, 4 overs to go. 126 for 4. Run rate 7.88. Dubé is 15 off 9. Kohli is 48 off 45.
Stephen Kelk asks, do fireworks go off if Kohli's run rate goes below a run a ball? Well, we might find out soon. Carl says Kohli couldn't time a stopwatch. Sagia says, I wonder if South Africa are deliberately keeping Kohli in play. Adam says South Africa is my tip to win the T20 World Cup, sticking his neck out, unless he meant it was his tip from the start.
Yes. Well, I think we all thought they had a chance. I mean, they've got
I didn't give them, I'm not going to give you any bullshit. I didn't rate them particularly.
Well, I also think they've got some big hitters and they've got potentially really good bowling attack. A lot of fast bowlers, and you wonder if, on the wrong wickets, fast bowlers can go. But a lot of these wickets have been reasonably helpful. And so they've done okay. Nortje is in. And it's cut into the ground. Oh, it's going to be another throw at the bowler's end. Shivan Dubé cut into the ground out to point. Scuttled through for a quick single. Score moves on to 127 for 4. Wonder if Kohli gets to his 50 and then just tries to cut loose.
He might do, but it makes you wonder, have you never got one before? You've got about 1 million 50s.
Exactly.
He just needs to put his foot down at this point.
Alright, well, Stubbs, as we see from behind, Nortje's in. Another attempted pull by Kohli. I'm not sure if he got any bat on it, it just came off thigh pad, looped up and just out of the reach of diving. Quinton de Kock behind the stumps goes down to the man at long leg, and it'll just be the single. It was off the bat, so it was a run, and it could have been a catch if he'd got across. That would have pissed off Kohli.
Out on 48,
oh, yeah. After having slowed down dramatically. Nortje, third ball of the over. Pterodactyl run. Slogged back at him. Ooh. Not sure if it hit him, but it went to mid-on in the end. Dubé looks quite ominous for a change. He looks pretty. He looks like he's bristling and looking aggressive. He's already hit a couple of 6s, or a 6 and a 4. And it's probably the best start I've seen him have. He's looked pretty useless most times.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange selection in some ways. You might have thought Rinku Singh might have been in there in this finisher kind of role.
Well, they went with Dubé. And Nortje is in full, and Kohli hits it out to point. There's a kind of crowd catch, but I'm pretty sure it's a crowd catch. He hit it straight into the ground, it bounced up. Was caught there, and no run. This is a decent over from Nortje. He's gone for 3 off the first 4 balls of the over.
I think Dubé's been in much better nick since he came in than Kohli has. If you want a wicket,
you want Dubé?
Want him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Kohli is very much capable of changing his stance. That's pulled by him and not timed again. It'll go out to deep square leg. It'll just be the 1.
That's 50.
It is his 50. We'll give him a little jingle for his milestone.
Half a 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 century.
Should could see who's joined us in the, if any GPL users have been in today. Forgot to mention it, of course. And of course, that means no one entered. I have a problem with this stuff. Nokia is in. That's cut hard by Dubé. It's a good shot out to the backward point boundary. Found a gap, and all well and good for him. Just hit the tab, man.
God damn it.
You lot on your phobia for Max. That's such a better machine, man.
Jay rightly says, oh no, Andy's on a Mac, I have the fear. Well, I almost smashed it just a second ago, Jay. Of course you can't just click on something to make it come up. Am I crazy?
You can, you just click on the right fucking tab, not on the bloody bar.
Why not on the bar?
Because that's where the address is, yeah? The tab tells you what everything is. You just click on the tab, you know.
Have you never used a Mac before?
I fucking hate Macs.
You hate Macs? Worst. I hate PCs with a passion.
I hate PCs, they're awful.
They're fucking shit.
Sagir says, anyone want a chocolate? That's very diplomatic of you, Sagir, just as we start the Mac versus PC debate. And Carl is more controversial. He says, Kohli needs to retire out now.
Interesting. Don't think so. Now he's got his 50. I expect him to try and take some risks.
And he's got 3 overs left. I honestly...
I agree with you.
I think it's been poor.
I think it has been poor. It might prove to be the right score, but, you know. Well, a tenner over gets into 164. Well, Kohli has gone, you see. He likes to have his 50. And then he can give it some. 6 runs, first ball of the next over. Barbados.
Yeah, well, it's only the World Cup final. He worried about your 50s count.
No, I mean, that is poor, isn't it, really? If you look at it that way, it's fucking pathetic, but...
He's nearly as selfish as Boycott, and that's saying something.
Very much so. I mean, if he's capable of playing that shot now, he's capable of playing it 5 overs ago.
Yeah.
Especially when Axar was hitting out as well. Maybe he thought he should stay around and Dubé is hitting at the other end, but you've got to hit from both ends. Well, having said that, if they get to 160, it might prove to be a winning score. That's into the feet of Kohli. Bunts it out to the leg side. They're going to try for 2 here. Good running, and they will get back for 2. Of course, there's no one in the infield on the leg side. Don't be stupid. So someone has to leg it in from the boundary. Hence, they can get it back for 2 if you just chunk it in there.
I kind of think that you'd be like the pitch isn't doing particularly much, so
yeah, it's quite slow. It is receptive to a little bit of tweak. That's a good shot from Kohli. He's found a gap behind square this time and gets himself another 4. That's a good shot. Not particularly well timed, but found a space. 12 runs off the first 3 balls of this over. Which should, theoretically, now move them up to sort of 175, 180. Just with a good first 3 balls off this over. They carry on.
Yep, might be the over they need to kick it on.
Of course, South Africa do have some bangers. And they haven't really banged this tournament, it has to be said, with the exception of Quinton de Kock a couple of times. That's a full toss into the pads. Kohli can only knock it out to deep mid wicket. Gets himself a single. Dubé back on strike.
Well, he's answered some of the guys on YouTube are giving him a bit of pelters. Jihan says keep blocking and taking singles, Kohli. Sagir 6 wickets in hand. Pandya in the dugout. Bad strategy.
Yeah, we're in agreement with you, Sagir.
Yeah.
However, if he ends up with, I don't know, 95 off of 62.
Yeah, if he gets 30 off the next 10 balls, he'll be fine, yeah.
Then he'd be justified.
If they win the game, they'll say he was justified.
Yes, of course.
And if they don't, it'll be the bowler's fault.
Yes.
So, win-win.
Win-win! I'm Kohli, fuck you all. 147 for 4. 2 overs and 2 balls. 14 balls left in the innings. 147 for 4. Rabada has already gone for 13 off the first 4 balls of his, his last over. Oh my word. And that's going to be a no ball, isn't it? Is that no ball or wide? I think
At
it was an
least
attempted
a
knuckle
wi-
ball
at
or
least a
something. No, it's
wide.
just given as a wide. I think it was an attempted knuckle ball and he let it go all wrong. And it was just very, very wide. So he's got some food hanging out of his mouth. I think it's probably spittle that he's tried to spit and it's got stuck on his
with
face.
rage at being hit for these boundaries.
Dubé's a big lad. Full bunger, which is chunked off the bottom outside half of the bat. Well, probably bottom edge, I thought, toe end. Out to backward point for a single. One ball left in the over. Who's got overs left? That's an interesting question.
Janssen and Nortkier. And Janssen hasn't bowled
Markham
well.
bowled as well, didn't he? So someone must have some overs.
Yes. I'm sure Janssen's got one. Nortkier's probably got one as well. And Rabada, no, this is his last.
No, this is his
last. Yeah.
That's full, and Cody just tumps it up to wide long on. It'll just be the one run to end the over. 150 is up after 18. 2 overs left. I think 165 they'd have been happy with, and with 2 overs left they should be looking at 170 to 180. If they can get closer to 180 to 170, I think they'd be reasonably happy for me. 20-25 of the last 2 overs.
Yep, Colin gives us the other side. He says, give Kohli some credit. He's held the Indian innings together after the early wickets. That you can certainly make that that argument.
You can make that case up until about sort of maybe 10 or 11 overs, but there's that 3 or 4 overs in that middle stitch where you've got to do more than what he was doing. Once Axel Patel have got going, then both should try and get going, because if you're both going, you get bigger scores, right? And that's the name of the game.
And also the fact that literally the ball after he got his 50, he knocked it over everyone's head, proves that he could have done that.
Yes, he could have taken a chance earlier. He certainly got.
You kind of go, well, what's the point?
He's certainly capable of it. He's good enough bloody batsman, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Brian in Brisbane, 180 or so maybe.
Well, if they get to 108, I think they'll be very happy. Ooh, that one's bowled across.
It's out.
Kohli. Is it out? No, it's not.
No, it's just the wicket keepers.
Yeah, he was very happy with the ball. Have they appealed for it? Hold on, nothing's gone up.
No, they've
reviewed.
Well, they've got 2 reviews, so why not?
Or is it going to be a no ball? It's a no ball. It looks like it's going to be a no ball and a free hit. So
it's a no ball, so screw the review. Yeah.
Oh, quite a biggie as well.
Massive. Yeah. Dear, oh dear.
That's bloody huge.
If it turns out he nicked this, interesting. Is a free hit. No, he missed it anyway. Missed it by quite a long way as well. I think what they heard was his bat maybe hitting the ground, or even being his bat hit the ground, unless it hit the ground beforehand. The free hit down the track comes Kohli, goes across, should get away with that as not being a wide. You went across is what the bowler is saying to him now. Virat's not happy that wasn't given a wide, but he did go across to the offside and he did swing at it, and the bowler just pushed it wider. It's quite sharp bowling, to be honest. He's gone right across and it's gone under his bat, so fuck you, Virat. I don't think a wide can ever be given if it goes under or over the bat. It's ridiculous. That's a horrible ball though. That's a full toss. It gets pretty well. It didn't get full toll, which is what it should have probably got. Instead, it gets 4. Leg stump full toss into the pads of Kohli. It gets pretty much what it deserves, which is 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, South Africa have had a lot of low-scoring games in this tournament where your death bowling doesn't get tested so much.
Yeah.
Bartman had an absolute shocker in the game against England, and I don't think we've seen him since. You remember he bowled those 5 full tosses in an over?
Oh, God.
Oh, God, yeah.
That one's hit back down the ground. Not with great timing from Kohli, and it's stopped by presumably David Miller or somebody, who then can't pick it up after he's parried it. Was it David Miller? It was a skipper Markham, actually. It's a good bit of fielding, but they did manage to get back for 2. 3 balls left in the over, 157 for 4. Tone, can you get the door, please? That's our delivery from Brian. I've got to go at 20 overs. Got to take my daughter to a party in Beckenham.
It's party town.
It's party town. What joy. Mark, I'm having a word with Janssen here.
Yep, Sagnik says Janssen and Nordkeer to bowl out. India might get 190. Doesn't like both these bowlers at the death, and I think he's got a point. Dara says not a good over so far. Pirate Badshah's laying down a prediction. He don't think South Africa will be able to chase this.
Certainly they've got the power to do it. That's a good shot from
That's
Cody.
a big one, yeah.
Launched that.
Wow.
Way back into the stand. 6 runs. Jansen has been expensive in this game. He's not really had a fantastic tournament, has he? He's been expensive every time I've watched him.
Well, did well against Afghanistan on a helpful track.
Oh, well, that was a game I didn't see. But every time I've watched him, he's sprayed it either side and got hit for a fucking lot of runs.
Yeah.
That was a great shot from Cody, but it was in the slot for him. It was length, and it was hit on the roof.
I think that's the weird thing with this South Africa side, is they've actually looked pretty shite the whole time, but they've managed to get results.
Yes, and you wonder when they come up against someone who no one's actually stuck it to them, have they? Really? Apart from the West Indies in the first game they played, which was quite tight.
Yeah.
Or did they get the West Indies out front? They got out for not many, did they actually?
No, I'm sure there was one game de Kock had to get a score to chase something down. I think that might have been the West Indies.
But that's about it, as you say. They've not really had any. I don't even know what their highest total in this tournament is, but I don't think it's much above 160.
They got 160 against England. Yeah, every game they played in the first group was 110 against 100 in New York.
Yeah. Oh, there's a guy there. It's 30 degrees. He's wearing a fucking puffer jacket with a hood up.
That's Johannesburg.
Oh, right.
Not Barbados.
I was going to say. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I've told this story before, but I went to my father-in-law's funeral. It's the first time I ever went to Kenya. Janssen is in. Oh, no, has he not got enough of that? I don't think he has. No. That's out. Cody has fallen, 76 or 58. The score is on 163 for 5. Pulled it back a bit. Probably wanted another 10 or 15 runs on top of that and that strike rate to get that up. But he's pulled them to 163 for 5, and I think 160 is going to be a competitive score. So India are there, and they've got how many balls left? 8, I think.
Yeah.
The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says you're out.
Hardik Pandya can hit 2 of those for a 6 and a 4.
Yep, Sagir says to Pirate Badshaw, 160, 170 is gettable by South Africa. Anything above that will be tough. Dar Azizi, Miller is key for the Saffers. Hansel Phillip, Kohli is cold. Pirate Badshaw says they might have the power to chase it on paper, but I think it's very much theoretical. Paper Tigers. Dar Azizi says England should have beaten them. Yes, they might well have done.
Might well, they think they should have done. Had they done, of course, they wouldn't have had to meet bloody.
No,
probably wouldn't
they
have
would
met.
have played Afghanistan.
Well,
yeah.
But hey, that's the way it goes.
Would have been. Yeah.
Well, Hardik comes out. He's got a very short jingle, so we'll get that in.
And in breaking news, Hardik Pandya.
Last ball of Janssen's over. It's gone straight up in the air, over the keeper. It's probably going to get 4 runs. You jammy fucker. It is. Let's give it a jingle. Yeah, now quickly, the first time I ever went to Kenya was my father-in-law's funeral. We went down to the village where my wife's from, which is virtually equatorial. It's blazing hot, like 29, 30 degrees, midday sun, blue skies, sun's right above beating on down. We're getting this coach to take us to the village from the sort of local airport. There's a dude running alongside us, literally in a puffer jacket, ran for 5 miles.
Maybe he's one of those
mad
endurance runners trying to.
No, he was just a local, but it's just like, I guess if you grow up in the heat, it never feels that hot. But Christ Almighty, it was withering heat. Anyway, last over, it's going to be Nortje to bowl. 167 for 5, 19 overs done. The run rate is up to 8.79. I'm already out, actually. I went under 166.5, which is annoying. But hey, I've got to run out at 20 to 1, so I can't complain.
Keep you going for a while.
It will keep me going for a while, indeed. Dubé is going to face up. 22 or 13, he's done all right for a change. See what you can do in the last over against Nortje. Probably faced him shitloads of times in the IPL.
Yeah.
Message, yes, Kohli got 26 off 11 after his run of ball 50. He did.
Yeah.
Wherever Dara Azizi is, says it's currently 45, but that's a big difference if you're Fahrenheit or centigrade.
Indeed. Oh, that's going to be a wide first ball by Nokia. Tossed. Way wide. Yeah, it was a cutter by Nokia into the deck. And Kohli just didn't time it right. Caught by Rabada down at deep long on.
I think there's going to be a lot on De Kock in this chase. I think he's going to be the key wicket.
Well, Reed's has done fuck all, has he, the whole tournament. He's another one. Maybe he'll have a...
Markram and Stubbs haven't done a lot.
No. Dubé smashes it out square, doesn't really time it. Had to go to deep mid wicket and it's been a one run.
In fact, Hendricks is the kind of player who could glue the chase up with a 15 off 20. He did it against England.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot, did he? Klassen's not really had a good tournament either, and he's a banger.
Well, Kohli came good in the final. Maybe Klassen will as well.
If he does, he could quite easily take this away from
I mean,
India.
he can win a game from anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Hardick's going to face up. He's got his jammy 4 off his first ball. Feeling good. 5 balls left, 169 for 5. It's full, and he drives it up to mid-off. There's not really a shot at stump. Should have done. No, I don't think there's anyone backing up, so he decided not
last over, you
Let
hold
them have
back
the
a
one.
little bit on the throwing at the stumps, because the wicket's not as valuable.
True.
You know that last ball from Janssen? I think that kind of sums them up, because that so easily could have gone and got caught, but also they're so kind of unpredictable and kind of
full, smashed right back down the ground. Great shot from Dubé inside the man who's up inside the circle at mid on and a little bit wide, and he hit it pretty straight, and it's gone straight down to the boundary for 4 runs. Turning out to be what I think is a pretty good score here actually from India. 174 for 5 with a couple of balls left.
I think so. I think make them favourites.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see what the bookies say now. Started off 2-1 for South Africa, and India were at 5-2 on at the beginning of the game.
Probably close to that now.
South Africa are out to 3-1 or beyond. No, South Africa still 5-2. 10-3 on India.
Well, after those first over and a half, they might have thought they'd be looking at 220.
True. That's hit up to mid off, long off,
Good
and
catch.
that's good catch. Good hit by Dubé. Got it out in the middle of the bat, but he hit it flat again. He's got it up to long off where it's been caught. I didn't see who caught it, but Miller. Good catch. We have
really
another
solid.
wicket. Pretty well timed what looked like off the toe of the bat. It has to be said.
It's the power of the low full toss.
Yes. Well, I think we did alright in the end. I mean, we got 27 off, what was it, 15? That's a pretty decent strike rate.
Yeah.
16. 169. Be happy with that. Job done. And a score attained. It's probably why. And the other thing you've got to take into account here is how shit South Africa are chasing in big games. The choke series. If they lose a couple of wickets, you can quite imagine they fucking fold like a pack of cards.
Not like we did against India.
No, well, I mean that's the problem with India. They're capable of it. Well, Jadeja's had a swing at his first ball, thick outside half of the bat. It's gone out to deep backward point. Plugs a little bit, goes and doesn't run onto the boundary. They get 2 runs. That wasn't so toey actually. He's got a low middle on his bat, close to it. It's well timed, but again he didn't get any elevation on it. David Miller's had an up and down tournament. He's got some runs. Won the May game, didn't he? When they were 5 down against, I can't remember who it was, but it was a team that they should have beaten and it looked like they might lose. That one's gone straight up in the air from Jadeja. He might be lucky and it dropped short. No, it's a good catch. And that'll save them a run at the end of the innings for South Africa. India end up on 176 for 7. Jadeja got 2 off 2. Caught by, I didn't see who it was, Markram or Maharaj. Doesn't really matter. Except for the bowler who'll feel happy having a wicket. It's Maharaj. And I think India will be happy with 176 for 7 after all that.
Yes, after the 3 wickets in the power play. Yeah, sorry, Will.
I was just going to say I can't see them losing it, really, because South Africa, I mean, if they have, like, if they're 2 down by the end of the power play, they will panic and collapse and piss themselves and all the things.
Fair enough.
They always do, I reckon.
Dara Azizi says centigrade in Arizona. That means hot, hot, hot. 45. Sagir thinks, oh please, you keep stop doing that.
I'm trying to get rid of this shit.
Well,
that's because it's all so big. It doesn't do stuff when you're,
Oh well, who could want to change the size? But that's obviously beyond the power of a Mac.
No, it's just because it keeps going on the 3 dots on the end. Ah, fucking hell.
Macs are great.
They are. It's just you. Fuck off.
As long as they're set up exactly to default settings, they're brilliant.
There you go.
Thank you. Yes, Sakir says India 15 to 20 short. It's a good pitch, unless India's spinners can do something special. Mog, disinterested hand job, but disagrees. Things are grim for South Africa. I have little faith. Dara Azizi's in the middle. Odds on a super over. That would be great. Muttley, India's game to lose from here. I'll have a quick look at Twitter. Twitter, it's all happening on YouTube nowadays, and rightly so.
Yep.
Yeah, Leah sent me a meme. I'll check that in the break. And Farong says psychological batting from Kohli Cam, planting the seed of doubt in South African minds.
Well, it's a final. You've got to go for it, and that's what South Africa have to say to themselves here. There's no point in fucking dicking about. There's nowhere to go after this.
Don't die wondering.
Don't die wondering, exactly that. I mean, England kind of did that, and they failed. And they had to do that. It was always going to be tricky in Providence, I thought, to play India.
That was a more difficult wicket, though, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And India have got a very good spinning attack. This looks a little bit more batter-friendly. We shall see. We should have a little break.
And in the end, it's worth pointing out that India scored nearly as many against England on that track as they have today.
Yeah, true. And if it's a better track for batting, maybe it's not enough. And maybe South Africa will be okay. Who knows?
Let me put it this way. That was a better score on that track than this is today. Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely there may be some runs left out there. But we shall see. They'll be back in probably about 5-10 minutes. It might have a little bit longer because it's a World Cup final. I've got to go anyway. In the World Cup. Okay, well, we've been informed by Tone. If they do it here, it'll be the highest run chase ever on this ground.
Wow.
Previous best was 172 by the West Indies against England last year. So that doesn't set very good omens. But hey, we'll see. I've got to run off and pick up my daughter and take her to a party in Beckenham. So I'm out. I'll hopefully be back for the end of the game, if there is a game to be had. In the meantime, I'm not going to the party. I'm just a fucking taxi, mate. As per normal, taxi dad is coming into effect.
I'm sitting outside the party.
No, fuck that. She's 14. She can get. Well, I'll probably pick her up later after this game is done at about 9 o'clock. Not that she's drinking or anything like that, but they have fun and do dancing and stupid stuff like that. We'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Until then, listen to a bit of a podcast. See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
Yes. You can bring that in, thank you.
Yeah, I keep saying I will. It is actually a bit less than it was originally now, but there we go. So the World Cup, Scotland then. I've got to ask you about Scotland. What do you think? Everyone's got a puncher's chance, haven't they? Because everyone plays like 4 games in the initial round.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I don't think you can write them off. They've obviously got probably bookies. It won't be bookies' favourite to win it, but just if they are listening, I will be out there, and I'm about to play my first game. I've been playing sixes for 4 years, so I will be available to play for them if necessary.
Well, that's all you got to do in T20, isn't it? Smash the ball
exactly
as far as you can. I mean, I do think T20 is as you say. I mean, the shorter the format, the more it varies to the mean. I mean, everyone's just swinging for the offs, right? So even the smaller teams have got a puncher's chance, I reckon.
Exactly, and I think depending on how the kind of ball lays that day, then there's a chance. It's great to see the game kind of being played in these other countries, and Scotland particularly. They kind of had a bit of there's a bit of energy about their sport recently. So the rugby team's doing well, football team in the Euros as well. They've obviously got this cricket team that I was looking at the team lineup the other day. There's quite a few Scots in the team as well, which is quite nice to see. There's quite a few Scots and a bunch of Safas and stuff that have kind of joined.
You got Brad Wheel in there, haven't you? I think, if I'm memory. But you're right. It's a very familiar looking squad. I think from the last World Cup. I think Berrington, George Munsey, Michael Leask, Safian Sharif, Mark Watt, Carter. All of those stick in my memory from the last 2 World Cups, because they had 2 back-to-back because of COVID, didn't they? So maybe that's what they sound so sort of familiar to me.
But what do you think? Do you think they've got?
I think if you look at the games, you've got Namibia, Oman, Papua New Guinea, Uganda. I mean, it's going to be really interesting. And whilst we've been talking about the IPL, and you're going to say Australia, India, possibly England.
Oh, we're the bloody champions at the moment.
Well, we are.
We're defending
we were
champions.
champions in 50 over cricket. It didn't really help.
No, true.
So
I think Scotland play England at once. We've got a game.
Yeah, you will do. Yes, you will. So I mean,
and you're bound to beat us because we always lose against the people we shouldn't lose to. So
the shorter the format, it wouldn't be the first time. Remember, Scotland have been before. The shorter the format, the more you've got a puncher's chance in it, I think. And that's a decentish Scottish squad. I think it would be a long shot, but I wouldn't completely say it's not a chance. I mean, for us, I think a lot of the interest is the teams you don't get to see so much. Nepal versus Uganda. It's interesting just because you wouldn't normally see that on telly or watch that on telly. Any other plans in the US? So you've got Dallas is up and running. Are there other areas that you're going to look to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
open there?
The US is such a huge place. Love to do a site in New York, but
price-wise, I would imagine that's a challenge, isn't it?
It's tricky. Yeah,
New York.
I mean, how did it take on in Texas? Dallas.
Yeah, great. We've had a great first 6 months. We are trying to open it up to more and more people. We've had a lot of cricket people coming in, so we're just trying to get the general public.
I was wondering how Joe Public in America. Do they even understand the concept?
So I assume that you ask any American, do you know about cricket? And they're like, yeah, I know about cricket. It's that like baseball game. And you're like, yeah, sure. Okay, you kind of know. And then they'll go, why is it called sixes? And you go, oh, you actually know nothing. Okay, so 6 is like a home run. And they're like, oh, right, okay. But it's quite interesting when we talk to them about the difference between baseball and cricket. So in the average game of baseball, the number of home runs per game is like 1 or 2 per game. Whereas T20, you probably know that it's like 24 sixes in a game of T20
I think
certainly this season, smaller ground,
I was
impact
going to say, at the last game we did was match 40, what was it last week? Match 50 or something, or match 48, and I think they just got over 1,000 sixes. Somewhere around 50 games. So you're about 20 a game.
Yeah. Wow. So it's just more. That's entertaining for an American. That is like hell yeah, I'm going to watch this. Like, if you see 20 home runs versus it's 20 times more exciting than baseball, basically.
Yes.
Oh, I like that theory. So, have you done anything different to the format in America, or is it literally transplanted what you do here and get the Americans to like it as it is?
The game's exactly the same. We've got local drinks and local food menu there.
Yeah,
but,
I guess.
Other than that, it's pretty much, you wouldn't know the difference.
So the beer's colder and gassier, but the cricket's the same.
Yeah, but I tell you what, the cold gassy beer I'm into, and we've got frozen like margaritas. You go into anywhere in Dallas, frozen margaritas, frozen beer, frozen everything, like slushies. Oh, I walk in at 11 a.m. because the jet lag. It's actually 7 p.m. UK time, and I'm like, give me some of them now. Yeah.
Well, final or not, they're still not giving us a very much time to break, and that's why we're spinning microphones and putting tea on places and eating crisps. And it's not like the IPL. They give everybody one thing I'll say for it is they give you they don't rush things.
Quentin to Cock to open, as usual.
Right, I've untangled my microphone. Yes.
And Arshdeep Singh to open the bowling for India.
Yep. He's had 15 wickets in this tournament.
That's a name you can mock, but he's really quite useful at cricket. I have heard that he can open the bat, even if he's not keeping wickets.
But it's going to be Reza Hendricks facing the first ball, and here it comes from Arshdeep, left arm over, defended into the offside, and there'll be no run.
Bit of swing.
You wear a shirt, the yellow and green. Oh. Reza Hendricks, you are a run-scoring machine.
Michael Stipe would love that, wouldn't he?
I'm sure.
Brilliant.
What a strange album, that one. Tons and tons of feedback. Oh, I had a little nibble at that one, Hendricks, and
didn't carry
a slower ball, so no, it didn't carry to Rishabh Pant, who dived forward with some urgency, suggesting he thought there might have been an edge on that, but it's a good yard short of him.
I mean, talk about stage managing.
Oh, it did.
There was, yeah.
Old Virat, you've got to say, you know, top scores, takes them to a score that when they were 40 odd for 3 in the end of the power play, you'd have thought 120, 130. I think South Africa will be really disappointed with what they let them escape to.
There's Arshdeep again. That one swings into the pads a little bit, and Hendricks tickles it down to fine leg. He'll get a single.
What was that highest ever run scored, TV?
172 for 6, which was the West Indies against England last year. Last December. In fact, most of the records at this ground seem to involve England at the wrong end of them, as far as I can tell. Yeah.
We better stop going to Barbados and playing cricket then.
Well, good luck with that. That is where England like to play.
And lose.
I'm only talking T20s,
right.
But nonetheless.
Right, we've got this man on strike, and he's going to be a big player in this chase, one way or the other.
I do like De Kock.
I think I just jingled him.
You did, yeah.
Yes,
I did. Sorry, I was probably.
What I haven't done is the bowler, but I will now.
Yeah. And then this guy called Arshdeep Singh. The obvious jokes will be entertained here.
Little bit of swing.
He's definitely getting some swing, isn't he?
Yep. Swung back from middle and leg onto middle and off. De Kock played it to mid on. There's no run. A bit more swing than we saw from Marco Jansen at the top of the Indian innings.
I don't remember seeing any swing in the
little
Indian
bit,
innings.
not very much.
This is really quite cute.
That's what he does, Arshdeep. He bowls a little bit slower, and you can see the breeze is blowing quite strongly in that direction.
Big arrow still.
Yep, left to right as we look. So away from the left-hander, De Kock gets a cut on that. Is there a man at third man? Yes, there is. Just be a single.
They protected that area behind square on the off, haven't they? They've got deep third man, a sort of a fly slip type person, and a first slip.
That's clearly where they want him to bowl, in that channel. Tidy over so far from Arshdeep. Bit of swing, only 3 runs, no boundaries.
Unlike the first over of the Indian.
Very unlike, which had crunched for 15 by Kohli. Then they hit 6 off the next 2 balls, and you thought they were flying. That one is going to go though. It's through the
Lovely
vacant
shot.
point area from Hendricks, and that's away for the first 4 of the innings. Six for no wicket. Tony.
Yes, I don't know where we'd got to, so I'm going to jump in with Simar. One big reason, one of the offences so much more in cricket is because the field goes in every direction, which also means the defence is more spread out. I'm not quite sure what that was about. Pirate Badshaw, I'd object to the premise that many sixes are more entertaining. I think it's flawed to assume that quantity equates to excitement. If anything, it can be the opposite, making the spectacular mundane. And then clarifies that was in relation to the podcast during the innings break, incidentally.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we haven't even
Someone was
mentioned this man today, and what a factor he might be as well.
Ooh, you're not wrong there.
This man is
Here he is.
quality, isn't he?
And now that Monty Bumrah, oh, you're bowling again, aren't you? Oh, I thought as much.
Here he comes. He's going to bowl over the wicket to De Kock. His trademark jerky action, and it flashes past the outside edge. De Kock will argue he pulled his bat away and played inside it. But that was the problem for England in that power play. They had to go after someone, but it was Bumrah on a bit of an up and down wicket. It's a lot easier said than done.
Good first ball though.
Yeah, and South Africa
Very typical on the button.
can't afford too many cheap overs, although that boundary off the last ball did help. It's full, it's on the pads, Pant spills it. I don't know what slip is appealing for, seeing as the keeper has knocked it off about 30 yards. Not LBW, I hope, because that was a mile outside leg stump.
Maybe there's a leg by in the end. Bit lucky, I think.
I wonder how many kids in India do that little jerk at the start of their bowling run-up. I would suggest quite a few.
Yeah.
Isn't it due to the garden he had as a kid and how he used to have to adjust his run to
I think that
accommodate going
applies
around
to
the roses or
other bowlers, not him.
Could be. Richard Pant's looking curiously like Alan Carr, actually. Bizarrely, in that for that moment.
Here comes Bumrah. It's bowled him. It's bowled him. Hendricks is gone.
All ends up.
It must. You can only figure that has done a bit off the seam. It must have done. It was angling into middle and off, and just held up on the seam. It was a beautiful length, just full. Hendricks' bat didn't look straight. It's clattered into off stump, and that's the first wicket of the South Africa innings.
I won't look back, 'cause by the time that
Swung.
I do, you'll be
Off the pitch.
It's swung and seamed. Beauty.
It's not the one they wanted, but it's one they'll take.
Yeah.
Wow. Are they clearing their
trophy cabinet?
Are they clearing their throats for a bigger choke?
I wasn't banking on Hendricks to get a ton of runs anyway. I don't fancy him much. He's done nothing in the tournament, and in fact, if he'd stayed in there for 30 balls, he might have been more of a hindrance than a help. Anyway, captain's come in to hopefully play, from his point of view, a captain's knock.
Very much so.
Cause he's a grinner, a part-time spinner, and this Safa, yes, he's a winner. Playing his shots out in the sun. He's a stroker, not mediocre. He's no World Cup choker. He gets us moving with his runs. Aiden Markram.
Bit of repair work needed on the stumps for some reason. Didn't break the stump, that ball from Bumrah. Right on the top of off. What a beauty.
I think it did move in the
broke
air
them enough.
as well as off the pitch. It was just a fantastic ball.
Right, he's going to come in now. It's a short run up as well as quite a jerky one, and Markram punches that down past point, and has he got it wide enough to beat third man? He has. He's underway with the 4.
Lost their first wicket at 23, India. That was when Rohit Sharma...
That was off the 9th ball.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
It was the seventh ball in this innings. Early wickets.
Slip is in for Bumrah, and he even his jerky run up was too jerky that time, and he got it wrong slightly and pulled out. Or maybe it was not jerky enough. I'm just having a look to see if that was a chance for Pant down the leg side. I don't. Well, given a leg by, but he spilled it anyway. Markram leaves that one alone. Bit of carry on that one.
Yeah, he put his back into that one, didn't he, Jasper?
Yeah. 1 wicket already. Trying to dominate this innings and take India to their first ICC trophy since 2011. What's that? 13 years.
I don't think it was batting that, was it?
I don't think so. They keep showing it for some reason. That one's covered up by Markram. Out to cover. No run. End of the over. Successful one for Bumrah. It's 11 for 1 off 2.
Right. Sorry, I was just looking at my Jasprit Bumrah notes. I know he learnt his Yorker, or a lot of his use of the Yorker off Malinga. Okay, let's have a look. Leah says India need a few wickets early so Axar can then take 4 for 4 in the 7th over to end the innings. 7th over? Wow. That would be a lot of early wickets. Mutley says choke. Darzizi said that's good for South Africa. Leah says there he is, the palindromic Aiden. Palindromic Aiden Markram?
Markram's a palindrome.
Oh, right.
Aiden is not.
No, that's right.
Punched straight by de Kock, but the fielder is across at mid-on. It's just a single.
Carl Herbert said at least Hendricks won't be 15 off 20.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
Yeah, Richard Peel. Oh, Richard Peel. Hello, Richard Peel. Now I've got the image in my head of Alan Carr bowling. I reckon he'd be a tricky leg spinner with a great googly.
No, I think he'd bowl like
It was
Mike.
Rishabh Pant, I said, look, he was wicketkeeper.
Even so, I think he'd bowl like Mike Gatting, scuttly outswingers that roll along the ground.
Yeah.
Scuttly. That's a good word. Doesn't often get used, Andy.
I think it's because it isn't a word, I just made it up. Scuttling, perhaps I should have said to be more correct. Arshdeep left arm over to Markram, drops his bat on it, but he can't get it past that man at Surya Kumar Yadav, kind of on a gully line on the edge of the circle. As you said, Steve, they are protecting that area behind point.
They've got a plan there, haven't they?
Well, any plan is better than no plan. A bad plan is better than no plan, I should say.
Well, it depends. If you're Rishi Sunak going, the plan is working.
Well,
it's not necessarily a good plan.
The plan to get voted out as an MP and go back to America like he wants to. Here comes Arshdeep. And has a flash at that one, Markram. Yeah, Rohit likes it. Markram doesn't like it. He's been given. Yep. He's been given, and is he walking off? I think so.
Wow. Oh, Lord.
He just probably disappointed Markram. Disappointed, didn't want to go, but he knew he had to.
Let me see. I'll play. They're all run out ones. Why have we got to say, I'll do this one? Why not?
Yeah.
Oh,
another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
And Markram, Steve, I think just had to take a moment because he was so disappointed.
Well, it wasn't the captain's knock that he was looking for, was it? So, started well, first ball, and 4 or 5 is not going to make the return. So,
no, well,
Classen next.
Not just yet, I wouldn't think. I think we
Miller?
more likely see Stubbs yet. It's going to be Stubbs, yeah. They don't like to send Classen in the third over. They wouldn't want to be 2 down chasing 177.
But they are.
They are indeed.
Is it going to be young Tristan Stubbs then, is it?
Yep.
Here he is then.
Stubbs to cheer Tristan for 8. He offers more for what he's paid. He can bat, bowl, and even keep. It's time that Stubbs he made the lead.
Strike rate of 94 in this tournament, but a lot of these South African strike rates are New York Council pitch adjusted. Arshdeep now, bit of spring in his step. That one is punched past point. There will be a man out there. It's Jadeja. He's going to keep him to 1. Yeah, always a good fielder, Jadeja.
He originally joined Mumbai Indians to replace Tymal Mills, did Tristan Stubbs.
Well, not really like for like.
No, he's an off-break bowler, isn't he? And obviously wicket-keeper.
Not really a
wicket-keeper who
bowler at all.
bowls a bit of off-spin. and can bat, of course.
You would hope so if he's gone in at 4. Oh, yeah.
He had an extremely good IPL for the Delhi Capitals this year, I think. 54, strike rate of 190, highest of 71.
Arshdeep's into De Kock. Has a flick at it. Pant likes that one as well. I think he's just being a wicket keeper. Richard Illingworth agrees.
Yeah.
Is he maybe trying to prevent a wide even?
It's the glasses that give him the Alan Carr look.
Yeah.
De Kock's having that. Yeah, I know what that's all about. I'm a wicket keeper too. Grin on his face.
He's having a serious conversation though, isn't he?
Well, they're timed out now. So.
I think they're timed out. No, they got the review in just
They
the
got it
last
in?
second.
Yeah.
It's that question of you might as well while you're on top. You just never know.
You wouldn't want to blow a review just on a
It was a wafty
win.
old shot, wasn't it, by De Kock?
Down the leg side, short. He was trying to pick up fine a bit like Surya Kumaradev does, but I don't think he's
missed
anywhere.
it by
I don't think he's anywhere near that. No.
Yeah.
So it'll be a better angle from the side.
Oh, it's close to the glove though.
Did it brush the?
It's close to the glove.
The wrist protector part of
This'll
the glove.
get
if
it.
anything.
No.
No.
Oh, it's close though. Closer than I thought. Oh, actually, it's not. When you see the front angle, it's not really. Okay, scratch that.
Well, it is when you look at the side angle. If you look at the picture on the right, it looks incredibly close.
That's the one,
on the
I was
left,
looking at. Yeah,
it looks a mile away, but so extraordinary different perspectives.
Quite sure how that. It's not been given a wide, but I guess it pitched around off stump. So India lose a review. I think possibly they were getting a bit carried away, Tony. Yes, it might have been a we're on top, let's have a go. Arshdeep now to the left-handed De Kock. It's full. It's played past the bowler, just a defensive shot, but nice timing to mid-on to get a single. And that's the end of the over. It's 14 for 2 off 3, and South Africa in a bit of bother.
Right, well, Mr. Handjob on YouTube says, fucking shit, they can't rely on Miller to chase the whole damn thing. Mayank, thick edge, you could hear it like thunder off the stump mic, except it wasn't. Darazizi, South Africa look as vibrant as Biden. Oh Lord, above, steady on. Jay Grover, the Scutley sounds like a nursery boogie. Also, bring back Andy's cap.
Yes, I know, I forgot it.
I did. It was a good look on you, that cap.
I think it's better than the
it.
lights bouncing off my bald dome.
Sagir says South Africa's batting has been similar to India's. Only 3 have played consistently: De Kock, Miller, and Classen.
Oh, flicked by De Kock, and slip was half in the game, but it bounced in front of him, and in going for the catch, he didn't get it at all, and it went through for 4.
2 + 2 is a member.
I think I saw Bob Seger was about 74 or something this week. I thought, Jesus.
Sounds about right, yeah. But yeah, it's one of those you often see in the outfield, Steve, where they go for the catch when they shouldn't really, and it ends up going through them.
Yeah. It was never a catch, was it, really?
Not at all, no.
Should have stopped it, really. It bounced a long way in front of him.
Surya Kumar had a wide slip, and Bumrah, I think, tends to agree. He's gone wide that time. That's nicely driven past cover by De Kock. He's probably not going to get 4 as... who's that?
Asia?
No, I don't think
Is that his...
no, maybe it was. No, it's Kuldeep.
Kuldeep.
Also has a mop of hair, but no headband.
No headband. That's the difference. Yeah, that was the one he got his 4 of first ball.
Yeah, dismissal was wider. He fished at it a bit. Caught the bottom of the bat.
And it was the Markram dismissal that Mayank was talking about when he talked about the sound of thunder. Not
nearly sneaked out of Rishabh Pant's gloves, actually. He just closed the gloves a little bit early on that. Was perhaps a bit fortunate. Bumrah's back around the wicket onto the pads, and De Kock, who is going to be absolutely key in this South African innings now, dips it out to deep square for a single.
If you've got to get a record run chase on a ground, it's not a great start to it. But
no, but it's not the most imposing of records.
Well, no, 32 ODIs. I mean, as we always say, sorry, ODIs, well, T20s. As we always say, though, you know, when you go back historically, you discount the first possibly 10 years of T20Is because so much has moved on since then in terms of what players believe is achievable.
What they know is achievable.
Well, what they know is achievable, yeah.
And we've got a super chat in a moment. Thank you very much. We'll do that. Yes, Britt Bumrah is in. Onto the pads, clipped to mid-wicket, and there'll be no run. 21 for 2 in the 4th over. India scored 176.
Super chat.
It's Hattie, and £5 from Hattie. Thank you so much, Hattie the Batty. What am I going to do without GC next week? Roll on the West Indies Test matches. I think they start on the 10th, Hattie. You don't have too long to wait.
Nope,
and we are, of course, going to be doing them for you.
Doesn't stop for very long. Slower ball from Bumrah, punched out to cover. Covers in short, there's no run.
But thank you very much for that.
Yes, thank you very much, Hattie. Virat Kohli in the game and on the camera. The camera loves him.
And he loves the camera.
He sure does.
He does today. Highest score of the tournament.
By double what he hit before, yeah. And he's rescued his average of 10 for the tournament. Bumrah is in, flicked down to long leg by Stubbs. They'll get a single. That's going to be the end of the over, 22 for 2.
Yes, Mike confirmed I was talking about Markram's edge. Yes, he was. Mr. Franeman, who sounds like he might be rooting for the South African team, but I might be wrong. He says South Africa works on everyone's nerves. And he also points out, does Mr. Franeman, current run rate 5.7, required run rate 9.5. Yes, in the power play, Mr. Franeman, that's not what you really want those South African lads to be doing, it must be said. Farong had said psychological batting from Kohli Cam. Well, that must be near the end of the first innings. Planting the seed of doubt in the Safa's mind. Pitch is slowing down. Will it be difficult to bat on? I think the evidence of the first 4 overs is it's not been straightforward, no. But what a quality attack you're up against, though, aren't you? Which is what England found.
Yeah, right. Well, it's going to be a man who had an unexpectedly high score with the bat. It's Axar. And Stubbs steps way across to the offside. Doesn't really get any of it. There won't be a run. And Axar not taking a wicket with his first ball because he wasn't bowling to Joss Buttler. Bowling in some expansive shades. That one's the arm ball, but it's cut past backward point by Stubbs, and he'll get 4.
Oh. Some of these are in completely the wrong place. What's going on there? Oh, we're going to go have this one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And it's off this chap.
Goes back again. I was going to say that 4 was off quite a full ball, Steve, who went back to. That one's out to cover for no run.
Well played.
He hit it really late. Which is, of course, what you want to do with those cut shots. I mean, it's way behind him if you see it from side on. Axar again. Down the track this time, Stubbs. He'll punch it up to long off for a single.
I haven't seen this guy bat before. He looks quite tidy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's not an expansive hitter. That's really more Classen and Miller's job.
Was it Mumbai Indians he was playing for in the IPL? Am I right?
At one point, I think he moved on. Yeah.
Oh no, DC. It was Delhi Capitals this year, and he had a very decent season with them.
De Kock is back on strike. He steps away long before Axar bowled it and thumps it over extra cover. 2 bounces for 4.
Such a Quinton de Kock shot, but.
Well, we've seen a couple of games in this tournament. One of them against England where de Kock's just been playing a completely different game to everybody else. That one is angled down to backward point. It's well fielded. 2 men converge and they'll get a single. That's the end of the over. We're going to have a little change. 32 for 2 off 5. You're going to
I'm staying here.
Take over ball by ball, Steve.
I'm going to move out. Whoever's on next on social, Messrs. PR Ramaswamy is next on YouTube, on the other one.
Twitter. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Oh, we've got another super chat too, which has come through from Mutley. Thank you, Mutters. Has just sent us 99p with no comment at this stage, but an emoji of a steaming pile of shit. He says, "Sorry, no cash for a super chat because I was spent it on trying out Taco Bell. Wasted money." You never know if you hadn't tried it, would you?
Hi there.
G'day, Steve. How are you travelling?
I'm doing very well, Messi. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Good. Kuldeep has been brought into the attack. First ball is just guided round the corner by de Kock for a single. I will jingle him up when I can find him on here. Where is he? There he is.
Hello, Steve and Messi.
Oh, g'day, Sagir.
Hi, Sagir again.
How are you? Good to see you again.
How are you feeling? Do you think it's going
yeah,
well?
Not too bad.
Confident?
Not sleeping. Confident.
Kuldeep.
It's going to be strange getting my seat patterns back.
And this one is hoiked over cover point, not really quite where we aim to get it. It's stopped from going to the boundary. They've added 2 to the score. Here is Kuldeep's jingle.
I thought that Kuldeep was science fiction until I saw him today. Now that your death is my addiction, I've thrown all that Virat junk away.
Kuldeep in again, and Stubbs has certainly decided to go for him. Straight drives this one, and actually very well fielded by Surav. And stops yet again, stops another boundary and keeps them to just 2 runs.
You know, I must say India has picked up their ground fielding as well in this innings.
Yeah, they've taken a leaf out of the South African book, haven't they? It's great stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, you know, the level of effort that people put in when they're fielding just goes to show the commitment.
Again, a straight hit to long on by Stubbs, but this one is straight to the fielder, so only a chance of adding 1 to the score. Carry on, Sagir.
No, I was just saying that it just shows the level of commitment that they have, and it just gives an indication of how invested they are in probably winning the game.
We're getting a long Cody cam shot here while he returns to his position in the field. Kuldeep starts to run and de Kock pulls away, so we will start again. He's in left hand over, and de Kock has sort of marched down the track to meet it, played it defensively in the end, not an aggressive show. De Kock and Pant having a wicketkeeper's chat there.
You know, Shamsi bowling earlier, he managed to extract a little bit of turn off the pitch, both ways, both into the right-hander and away from the right-hander. And Kuldeep's a similar sort of left arm wrist spinner. So I wouldn't be surprised if he manages to get something off this pitch too.
This one is slightly wider outside the off stump, and de Kock has just carved it beautifully through the square. Now through cover point for a boundary and 1 of these.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Lovely shot. There's a lot of movement by de Kock as he's waiting for the ball to come, but Kuldeep just threw it out a little bit wide, and de Kock helps himself. We've hit the end of the 6th over, 45 for 3. Any messages?
Yes, indeed. Matt says he just sent a super sticker instead of chat. PR Ramasamy says, will Arshdeep get reverse swing in the 15th over today? Well, every chance. He's done pretty well, hasn't he? I still think that Bumrah is without a doubt my player of the tournament. He's now got 14 wickets at next to bugger all in terms of his average. What's he got them at? 8.42 at an economy rate of 4. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Sort of thing that helps teams win World Cups, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess he'll only win that award if India win the tournament.
Anyway, Axar is continuing, and first ball of his second and South Africa's 7th over is carved away to add a single to the score. End of the power play, they were 42 for 2. Around about the same score, I believe, as South Africa. They were 43 for 2, weren't they? Something like that.
For
so
3.
very, very even. For 3, in fact. Yeah, so fairly even. This one, de Kock has smoked straight down to long off. It's gone straight to the fielder. No chance of anything more than trotting through for a single.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, they're doing as well, but somehow I just don't have that confidence in South Africa. This is why
Stubbs has swept this one really firmly off
Nice
the middle,
shot.
about one bounce into the boundary fence for one of these.
You know, normally when South Africa play, the pressure is on them, but I guess in this match the pressure is on India. And I think that might actually work in South Africa's favour, as they're probably the less fancied side over here.
I think you're right. He's in again. This time Stubbs feigns to step back, actually stands his ground and punches it away into the offside for another single.
Having said that, South Africa are taking far fewer risks than India in terms of playing aerial shots.
Little paddle from de Kock on the 45, but a man is stationed there. It's gone straight to him, so a dot ball. Quite a tidy over, 7 from it so far. Can he wrap it up with this last ball? In fact, another dot ball. It was a bit leggy, that one, and de Kock, eyes wide open, thought he would dispatch that into the crowd. Completely missed it. So.
Yeah. I think India will take 7 runs and over easily.
Yes. Any messages, Messi?
No, we're going very quiet on YouTube and on Twitter. Everybody having their dinner, maybe.
Well, sensible.
Whatever. Yes, yes.
It's quarter to 10
here
to
we
6
go.
here.
Mr. Franaman says that it seems to be getting comfortable, but need to stay cool-headed and not choke again. And Mog just says to me, "Calm down, don't be needy."
I wonder how Mog is still awake, given that it's probably 3 a.m. in Melbourne.
Mog is a creature of the night. I mean, he does sleep in a coffin after all.
Oh, right.
Or maybe time holds no value in the infinite void.
Anyway, Kuldeep is continued, and Stubbs has dispatched the first ball to the boundary. Good shot, that straight back past the bowler, and never going anywhere other than to the sponges. Kuldeep in again. This is flicked away by Stubbs, looking for 2. The fielder from long on has got there quick enough to prevent the second run, so just a single added to the score.
Mog says it's not 3 o'clock, it's 2:50. I will regret this choice when I wake up at 6.
You're a fine man, Mog, well done. Kuldeep in again. This one is on his legs, de Kock's legs, and he manages to just clip it out. The man on the 45 is there, but Stubbs is aware of that and has backed up pretty well, so they do get through to add one more to the score. 43 off 30, this current partnership. Kuldeep in again. This one's on leg stump, and Stubbs clips it away, hairs off, and then realises there's no chance of coming back for a second, so eases up and jogs through to complete the single.
So far, this partnership's worth 44 of 31 balls, going at a good clip, almost 8.5 and over.
Current rate is at 7.3, and they require 9.8, so going in the right direction. Cool to complete the over. This one's wide outside off stump, and an extravagant shot from de Kock, but all he succeeds in doing is bottom edging it into the ground. That is one more ball to come in the over. 56 for 2 in the 8th. De Kock hasn't quite got going, has he? 22 of 20.
Well, he got going against the quicker bowlers. It's probably the spin that he finds it
there you
difficult.
go. I just lined that one up for him. And that's actually gone onto the top of the ground and probably smashed one of those
and outside
solar
the ground now.
panels. I think that one's gone.
Super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, rocker, super shatter.
Lovely shot.
You might need to get some of those solar panels replaced now.
Yep.
Yes.
Carl Herbert says this pair timing the ball nicely. Partnership of 100 followed by the choke. Jay Grover says I'm keeping you all keen, little coquette that I am. Cornelius Davis says South Africa need to get a partnership going. Well, it's rich.
What to do?
Yeah. Pirate Bradshaw says Pirate Nostradamus Bradshaw is not worried. Mr. Franeman says it's only 1855 in South Africa. Yeah, so good timing for you. And Mog says, I just think of the times that those poor English bastards back in Guerrilla Towers had to sit up watching the Ashes when it was played here. And I realise we're all dickheads.
It looks like,
well, we're all mad.
Yeah.
But, you know,
it helps the world go round.
We need to be silly to cover it.
Right, India have brought Axar back into the attack for his 3rd over. They need something to break this partnership, I think.
Now let it keep going. It keeps the match interesting for a while.
Yeah, and Stubbs has just planted his foot down the track, pulled it to the square leg boundary, and it's gone all the way for a 6.
Such an effortless shot.
Sorry about that, 1-1. Axar back into... go away. And technology going nuts over here at the moment. Anyway, yeah. After the 6, Stubbs has consoled himself with just clipping this one away for a single. It was how far? 66 metre, just about made it over the rope, but it was long enough. And de Kock's gone for the reverse sweep and rattled into his pads. I think it pitched outside legs, so there's no appeal from the Indians, and they've galloped through very quickly, sharply, to take a leg by.
I think I heard an appeal from Sagir though.
Yes.
No. It's just an exclamation, no appeal. I think the umpire in me knows that was way outside leg stump.
Yeah. I think de Kock got himself into a bit of a tiz there actually, but anyway. This one's outside off stump. Stubbs cuts it away behind cover point area, but Jadeja is prowling and he's cut that one off. Keeps it to a dot ball. Stubbs just confirming with the umpires 2 more balls to come. He's confirmed. He's stepped right outside his off stump, and Axar has clean bowled him. And that for Stubbs looked a little bit untidy, I have to say.
There's just no need for that sort of show, was there? I mean, he could have easily just played an orthodox one.
Yep, I think this is quite appropriate for that.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh!
Yeah, he went about a yard outside.
That's the appropriate jingle for that one.
Yeah.
He just asked. He was nowhere. He was a foot outside his leg stump.
Yeah.
So there was a wonderful target for the bowler to bowl at.
Ball just rattled it straight into the base of off stump. So Tristan Stubbs goes 31 off 21. Bright breezy knock. It brings in Classen. Well, if he gets going, this could be quite a lot of fun. But
I think given how early Tristan Stubbs moved across his stump, Akshay did very well to sort of just focus on the stumps, and he just fired it in. I mean, Tristan didn't even get a bat onto that ball, did he?
Didn't get a bat, a leg, a foot, anything on it. Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it was an opportunity that the bowler took, but yeah, it was a wicket that could have been avoided. And he had already hit him for a 6 this over. All he had to do was probably just milk him for a couple more singles or even a double or something.
Here's a jingle. His first ball is just drifting down the leg side.
Assuming leg by.
And he's just drifting. I think he's just clipped it around the corner, hasn't he? To
no,
it came off the pads. Yeah, came off the pads. So leg by. Any messages?
Well, that jingle just blasted my ear.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just looked at the name, Messi.
Cornelius Davis had just said they need to be calm and continue with this. Oh dear. Shafiq Ismail says, "Come on, South Africa, wake up! 6, way to go, boys." I don't think you'd be so happy about the wicket. Leah says, "Well, thanks for not thinking of me when I had to get up at 1 a.m. for 2 consecutive Border Gavaskar Trevis Mog." Well, sorry, Leah. We all do it at some stage. Nick Vickers says, "I remember staying up late on Christmas Day to see the Ashes start. Didn't see the first ball coming, and neither did Rory Burns." Boom, boom. Nice one, Nick. The WinViz predictor moved with that one ball from India at 52% to India 65%. That's how significant they saw a wicket there. But yeah, it's interesting, put it like that.
So we got Hardik Pandya into the attack. First ball is just punched into the offside.
And in breaking news, Hardik Pandya.
Carlos is doing his talking about gravity again, I think.
Yeah, which is when
everything goes down. He's pointing down. Yes, well, we know that, Carlos. As we pan across the ground, Pandya is on his way to bowl his second ball, and Classen, very respectful, punches it away into the leg side where Indian fielder is comfortably able to just pick it up, throw it back.
Given how predictable Hardik Pandya's length is, it wouldn't be too long before Classen just lines up one of his, swats over long off.
He's getting his eye in, I think. Sensible.
Yeah. Well, Kohli took his time getting his eye in, so it's only fair that Classen gets to do the same.
Let's hope he gets to 50 runs a bit quicker then.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pandya is on his way in. And slightly short of the length, back of the length, that one. It doesn't really move. It's quite a slow ball. But Classen tries to pull it into the leg side, only succeeds in bottom edging it. Again, a third dot ball of the over.
So what do you think of this wicket, Steve, Sagir? It seems to me that it doesn't have a lot of pace in it. It's playing truly, but it's not a sort of fast wicket that enables batters to really go crazy on it.
I don't think I don't think any batsman has actually really got comfortable on it, have they?
No, but there's no demons in the pitch either.
Nothing.
If you take your time and you time your shots, you get good value for it.
Or you get a bad ball like that one from Pandya, and Classen just square cuts it over cover for a maximum.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
That ball never got much more than about 10 feet off the ground, did it?
No,
hammered it.
Maximum.
Hammered it.
Yeah, I think Dubé hit one earlier in the day, like absolute flat. It never really got that vertical height.
This one is much more on Klassen's pads from Pandya, and he just clips it away. Man from long on jogs in from the boundary. They jog through for a single. Carlos Braithwaite is still talking about gravity. Good.
And now he's down. Maybe
Oh,
he
it's a
jumped
no
off.
ball.
Yeah.
No ball called on Pandya. Oh. This is going to make a bit of a mess of his figures here. South Africa need 98 from 62 balls. I'm just looking at the replay, and yeah, no part of his foot's behind the line, so that is definitely a no ball, Hardick. Free hit. Who's got it? Actually, De Kock's got it because they've jogged through for a single.
Yeah, De Kock's not going to miss out on a lot of opportunities.
No, he's not going to die thinking about it. It's gone very, very high up in the air and come down, caught by Pant. I think they've just jogged through for a single there. And Pandya go back to his mark to try and complete the over into the 10th. There'll be another swing around in Gorilla Towers after this ball. What's Classen going to do with this one? Jogs in. This one's back of a length and pulled round the corner by Classen. Man at fine leg jogs around, collects it, and that's just one more to the score. South Africa 81 for 3 at the end of 10 overs. I presume they're going to be taking drinks. And Messers, any messages?
Yes, indeed. Mog says to Leo, well, you're as hard as fucking nails, not some cake ass like me. So, Cornelius Davis says, come on, boy, that's a silly shot. You don't want your team to win. No struggle like the Classen struggle, says Barrett Bradshaw. Mayank says, Pandya looks like a veteran police constable in India who doesn't always play by the book. Shafiq Ismail says, Classen my hero, 98 off 52 balls. And Sagir, well, you can't tweet while you're on air, Sagir. It says, Mike, you mean like one of those shady, dodgy cops in the employ of the mafia boss, like Sadashiv Amrapurkar.
Yeah. I think you'd have to watch a Hindi film studio and get that reference.
And on Twitter, Mog says, one thing lacking in this match is a strategic timeout.
Well, not anymore.
The next T20 World Cup in India and Sri Lanka. Okay, I'll catch you later.
Messers, good to talk to you. Have a good time. And Sagir, thanks for your time as well.
Thank you. Thank you too.
See you next time, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome, Andy.
Yes.
And where's Mog? Have we got him?
Yes.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
I'm subbing in for, or you're actually subbing for Bear because he's gone to do Bear's taxi service. And we've got a game on here, I think.
Yeah, it's warming up.
South Africa are actually slightly ahead of where India were at this point. What do you think, Mog?
No, they're cooked. It's all right. India's going to take it. The main interest now was in the cap, I think.
Well, South Africa will be thinking differently. They are indeed 6 runs ahead of India's score. Hashtag at this stage. They need 96 from 10 overs. But they'll have to be quite heavily reliant on this pair and David Miller, because then you get into the bowlers. They're not quite as well stocked in the all-rounder category. Still on drinks break. You're not missing any action.
Other than a great catch.
And some highlights.
Not the finest quality bit of outfield he was standing on.
It was awful. Bloody hell.
But the Barbados outfield is looking much better than that.
Yeah, the Kensington over look rather super today.
Yep.
Blue skies, sunshine. Well, some clouds.
It's going to be a change of bowler and a new bowler for you to jingle up for us, Steve. In fact, I'll let him bowl this ball first. She does. It's shortish, steps away and punches it out to the sweeper for a single.
Here you go.
They need a more controlled dages on.
The very short version.
Yep. Well, he gets through his overs quickly, so I think that someone's taken that into account when producing that jingle. You can't have a 45-second jingle for Jadeja. De Kock's back on strike, left arm around to the left-hander. De Kock pulls, it's in the air, and Axar thought he was in the game for a second. He came in, he realised he wasn't going to get there and just bounced a couple of yards in front of him, but he wasn't far away.
Close.
They got through for a single. De Kock didn't get hold of that one as he would have liked, and you could see he was a bit concerned. That one was going straight out to Axar, but it didn't quite reach him. Classen back on strike. Kind of role will he have to play? Lofts one up towards long off. It must be 6. It is 6. Klassen's getting going.
That was a really, really nice shot.
Yep, in fact, just stood and delivered. Didn't come down the track. Just launched that almost dead straight over the sight screen. 97 metres, I think that's the biggest one today.
Yeah. Someone in the crowd with nature's vuvuzela, I saw. A large conch shell.
Jadeja pushes it wide, not surprisingly. Classen punches it out to the sweeper at deep point. That'll be a single.
Yeah, this is bubbling up quite nicely, this game, isn't it?
Yep, one of those and over, and they'll be definitely in the game. De Kock's back on strike. Can he make it 2 and make it a good over for South Africa? Jadeja fires it in and tipped into the leg side. They'll look for 2. Jadeja's after it himself. He parries it, and I think they do get through for 2.
Through.
Yep.
Yeah. Good running. Good cricket.
It was. We didn't really see that much urgency from India in their running.
No.
De Kock just having a little breather, but he took the pace off that one nicely.
Ball just about made it to the circle. So
yeah,
good cricket.
Cut shot ball, and it is indeed cut, and it's misfielded slightly, but they'll still get through for a single. That's the end of the over. It's a good over for South Africa. They've picked up 12 off that one, 93 for 3 off 11. We got anything on social, Mog?
We have a picture of something from Leah saying, I will from now on refer to me as Sana Hinton, Creamer Us, in reference to a very influential gay comic from Germany. Okay,
right.
I'm glad to see that. And Gordon Wells says, more 9 Inch Nails jingles, please. Who deserves hurt? Probably Steve Smith for all of his weeping.
Well, as we can see from the graphics, South Africa have ticked ahead here. 84 from 9, 7 wickets in hand. It's not going to be Jadeja because he bowled the last over. It's going to be Kuldeep, was very wide, and I think that might have been a wide if De Kock had left it, but he punched it out to deep point for a single.
Are they ahead on the DLS? Where's the rain? Where's Cyclone Beryl?
Well,
tomorrow apparently.
I'm glad this final hasn't been spoiled by rain. Not least because I don't particularly want to be here till midnight. Kuldeep's in again. Came in a little bit, punched towards cover hard, but straight to cover, or at least he made a dive. Rohit picked it up.
He had a bit of a meal of that, didn't he, Rohit?
A little bit. He's in that captain's position, short cover, close to the action.
Passing on pearls of wisdom to his bowler.
Yep. Classen, 16 off 11. Is he primed to go big? He's more than capable. Kuldeep is in again. Short, launched up over extra cover. Is that going to be 6 more? It is.
The number of the day really hops and kicks. The number of the day is 6.
And Klassen's got that power, Steve, where he can get a ball that everybody else would cut just towards cover point and just whack it up and over.
Yeah, he didn't really make a big swing of that, is it? Almost sort of a flick of his wrist. And
Kuldeep down the leg side. And could have left that for a wide. He fancied it for a boundary, but unfortunately for him, he didn't get it straight to Jadeja, and he'll now wish he'd left that one alone, just a single.
Still, it gives his batting partner a go, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's really a cut ball from Kuldeep, but Classen doesn't care about that. He just whacks it over extra cover off the front foot.
Yep, good job.
And it's looking a bit ominous for India, but that's a good ball from Kuldeep. It seemed to swing in a little bit of an arm ball. De Kock plays it into the offside and there's no run.
The spinners aren't dominating the batsmen like they did against England, are they?
Nope. 101 for 3, 76 needed from 49. We've got a game on our hands
Win
here.
predictor 56% South Africa.
Yep. But De Kock has missed out on that one, went back to cut, straight through to Rishabh Pant. There's no run. And that's the end of the over, went for 8. 76 needed from 8.
Good over.
Shafiq Ismail says if Classen gets into form, South Africa wins this easily. And Cornelius Davis says South Africa are not playing good because they don't have a lot of supporters in the ground. Did their ground end up filling up any more than what it was in the first innings?
Maybe a little bit. But yeah, if you've got a World Cup final with India in it and there are some empty seats, you've clearly done something wrong.
Somebody hasn't put an ad in the local paper.
Well, it's an interesting one. Arshdeep's going to come back. He's bowled 2 overs for 8 in the power play, but it's a different game now, with Classen and De Kock looking pretty well set. And De Kock still keeping his powder quite dry, 35 off 29. Is he playing the Kohli role? Arshdeep bowls to Classen, who shovels it down to square leg. They should get a single.
They're almost reflections of each other, these innings, aren't they?
Yeah, a little bit. Couple of early wickets. South Africa didn't have that super electric first over. Apart from that, not dissimilar, yeah.
But they ended up with about the same score at the end of the power play and ticking along.
Now, it took India a while to get going, but they did accelerate in those last 4 overs. I wonder if South Africa tried to do a little bit more in this 11 to 15 period.
See, that shot of the stands there isn't particularly encouraging.
No, Arshdeep is into the left-handed De Kock, who steps inside, scoops it down to fine leg. He might have got 6 for that.
I think he has.
Nope, must have bounced a millimetre before the sponge. An Indian fielder, I think, is Bumrah, looking a bit unhappy about something.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Indian nerves starting to fray a little bit.
Who's choking now?
Oh, well, exactly. We still haven't got a clear look at whether this was 4 or 6. It's been mighty close. No, we're not going to get a look at all.
No, they've given it us a 4.
Very suspicious.
Yes. Arshdeep again. He's short again. De Kock plays the same shot, but there's a man down there now. And it's gone, well, not straight to him, but Rohit, who took himself out of captain's position and put himself in at fine leg. But it did the trick because De Kock's hit it to him, and he is out, and that's a big wicket.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Exactly the same shot, Steve, but A, he didn't really get hold of it, and B, I think they changed the field.
They did. Well, Captain Rohit.
Actually, it was Kuldeep down there. Sorry about that.
Bit of a sucker one, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, and De Kock will be a bit annoyed. 39 off 31. He had the platform, and now this is the key partnership for South Africa and De Kock having words with the incoming batsman.
Quite long words as well, actually, weren't they?
Yep. Maybe just words of encouragement,
like
pumping him up.
Onomatopoeic or logosyllabic. Long words.
Here's his jingle anyway.
Up next is a real life wife. David Miller, qu'est-ce que c'est? Ça fait five. He will bat left, go right, and score runs all day. Oh, David Miller, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Right, David Miller. Now this is going to be this is the key partnership, isn't it?
These two boys, yep. The last of the really recognised batsmen, aren't
I
they?
think so, and
Yeah.
like I say, they don't have a ton of strength at 7 and 8. Arshdeep is in and just nips into Miller a little bit, hits him on the thigh pad. Fielder is in quickly and there's no run.
You got that to nip back, didn't you, obviously?
Yeah, bounce a little bit as well. And India, in fact, lost their 4th wicket at exactly the same score. So these 2 innings really are pacing each other.
Even more suspicious.
Yeah. I bet TikTok's going mad with conspiracy
theories. Yeah. Kohli Cam is also going mad.
We did have one earlier today that Kettleborough always makes India lose.
Miller is underway, tips that one down to long leg, he'll get a single. And this is perfectly set up, but the one concern from South Africa, I think, is that lack of depth at 7 and 8. It's Jansen next, it's probably Maharaj after that. And their tail end batting just isn't as strong as a lot of other teams. I mean, India had Hardik at 7 today. Slightly because of Aksar's promotion, but he's still obviously a handy bat, as we saw. Classen punches into the offside, it beats cover, so they could get a couple. They should get a couple quite comfortably.
Looked like he sort of jumped over the ball then, didn't he?
A little bit.
Wasn't great stuff.
So, 8 off the over, but the key wicket of Quinton de Kock.
Russell Hibbard says, "Hi guys, been cutting the hedge listening to your great commentary, trying to shake off COVID."
Oh, bless you.
Good luck.
Which sucks.
It does suck. I think we almost all had it.
I haven't.
I haven't.
No. Oh, well, okay, I've had it then.
So nearly none of us have had it then.
Only a third of us have had it.
Dara Azizi says, "Miller time. I said earlier that he would be the key." Shafiq Ismail says, "Oops, de Kock had the momentum going. What a pity. We need a solid guy to hang in there with Classen." And Carl Widow says, "I can't help but feel India will be able to keep control when it matters." Let's hope not.
Yes.
Well, I'm just hoping for an exciting finish, to be honest. No real dog in the fight. Kuldeep is going to continue. He hasn't had his best day. 0 for 31 of 3, and he was being picked up a little bit before, so we've got a slip in for David Miller, but he punches that one confidently up to long on. He may have got it wide enough to get 2, yes. Put it in the gap.
Nice shot, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, full face of the bat. Came down to the pitch a little bit.
Still breezy. His shirt is really giving it a blast, isn't it?
Yep. And India are going to have to find that fifth bowler, sorry. Both Hardik and Jadeja have gone for a few. Slip is still in, and Miller plays that one out 2 point, and there's no run.
In fact, it's blown his hat off, look.
Yep. I hope he does a comedy chase the hat, and it keeps blowing away just as you get to it. Sadly,
every time he reaches down a little bit further down the road.
Sadly not for fans of comedy. Kuldeep's in again. Swept by Miller. Out to deep square for a single.
Maybe they could bring a ladder onto the field and recreate that little short film. The ladder.
Oh, isn't it the plank, or what were we thinking about a different one?
Oh, was it the plank? And we might be thinking the same thing and I'm just not remembering it.
The plank is certainly a comedy film with all of that going on with I think Eric Sykes was carrying the eponymous plank. Anyway, Kuldeep is in.
Maybe we did a knockoff of it down here.
It's entirely possible. Classen uses his plank, play it out to mid-wicket and get a single. Are you familiar with that expression? Saying a bad bat is a plank?
No.
My bat's really gun, mate. No, it's not. It's a plank.
I tend to say things like, "Oh, the batteries have gone flat."
Yep. Kuldeep is in. Miller punches past cover. Might get 2. He might get 4. He has got 4. That's very well placed. Aksar couldn't get there.
Oh, he could have dived.
He could have dived when he was run out.
2. Buckle my shoe. 3, 4, shut the door.
Obviously not one for diving, old Aksar.
Way beneath him.
And short cover was pointing in vain. Yeah. He pointed to Aksar to field that one. And
yeah, Kohli's not happy at all.
Pulled by Miller.
Should go for
and that has gone for 6. It's gone for a flat 6. I didn't think he'd got all of it, but he certainly had. 4 and a 6 off the last 2 balls, and Kuldeep's had a bit of a shocker today. 4 overs for 45.
Yeah, gone for well over 40, yeah. Oh dear. I think this is swinging South Africa's way.
Are you still firmly in the India camp, Mog?
Oh, I'm never in the India camp as such. I'm
In
just
the
in the
anti-South Africa camp.
my ex says Miller and Classen have to be there at the end for a win, which probably is
not necessarily. I mean,
pretty true, but
if they get ahead of the rate, Janssen can stay with someone. In fact, so can Maharaj probably, as long as they don't have to hit too many boundaries themselves.
we have a special message from Jay Grover for you, Andy. He hasn't had COVID either. You're just weak.
That's probably what it is, Jay. Probably.
It also
what
helps
is.
he never goes outside.
Yeah.
Well, I got it by going outside. That was my mistake. In the meantime, that's been thumped straight as a die, and the 2 fielders long on, long off are way too wide to get to that one. That's 4 more, and the target's down to 50. It's Axar onto bowl, and he's on again. That's going to be a wide. Yeah, comfortably left alone, and India looking a bit rattled.
Crucial psychological barrier crushed.
And India's spinners haven't had much of an impact today. That's very close to the line.
Well,
the
he's
umpire's
called it
given it
wide.
wide again, rattling India even further. It was right on the line for a judgment call, that one, but the umpire didn't care what the last one was. He thought that one was too. That was also wide, but it is inside the line, and Classen, I think, was eyeing up that big shot over extra again, but he missed it.
A bit annoyed with himself, isn't he, Classen?
48 off 34 is well in gettable territory.
With these 2. Good ball.
Big hit from Classen again. Is it far enough? I think it is. It's hit the roof. What am I talking about?
The number of the day really hops and kicks. The number of the day is 666.
India need a wicket PDQ, Steve.
They do.
They're fucking up those solar panels.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
really are, yeah. I hope the hurricane isn't going to do too much damage to those.
There must be about half a dozen of them that wreck now.
And Classen knows when he's hit it. He doesn't have to watch where it goes. He knows. Axar. Classen
And he's
doesn't
going
care that he's
again.
just hit a 6. He's going to hit another one. No 6 and a single for him. It's short. He wants to end this game right now. Miller saying yes. 6 over long on.
2 6s in a row. 2 6s in a row. 2 6s in a row.
Now let's see. We had 10 off the last 2 balls of the previous over. We've had, I think we've had 3 6s in this over. 103 metres. It's a biggie.
And another solar panel.
Rohit's beard is greying by the minute.
Did we crack 110 metres? Was the biggest 6?
I think Livingston hit one was 120 in domestic cricket. Oh, it's always possible.
That doesn't count.
Measurement was on the Brits. Classen pumps this one over. Extra cover. There's no one there. It may have bounced just in front. I think it's 4. But it's another boundary. And in the space of 7 balls, I would love to know. Can you see how many runs off this over? I think they've got about 18 off this over, and there was 10 off the previous 2 balls.
Yeah, I think they started at 50.
It was 54 they needed off 36.
Scoop that one over
22.
backward point. Jadeja was rather pointing at someone else instead of going for the ball, which tells you a bit about what India are doing. They should get back for 2. Have they got this down to 30 off
I think
30?
they've taken 24 off that over.
I think they might well have done. Yeah.
Right.
Fair effort.
Goodbye, folks. Enjoy the rest of the game.
South Africa have hit 34 runs off the last 8 balls, and this game is now won, completely in their pocket. Thanks, Steve. And who's going to take us through in the rejigged rotor, Tony?
I'll be off. Bye.
Cheers, Mog. Thanks for all your help during the tournament.
Thanks for keeping me up until 3:30.
That's our pleasure. And this game's won. South Africa need 30 off 30. They've just thumped Classen. Is 49 off 22. He's been quiet all tournament, just like Kohli, but unlike Kohli, He's really gone for it in this innings.
What a defining
And
last
yes, you
over
said
that
Bumrah.
was.
It's got to be Bumrah. It can't be
It's
anyone
Bumrah
else.
or bust for
Yes.
India here. And he's going to be bowling. Indeed he is. What's he got? Can he haul India back into this somehow? He's over the wickets, inside edge. It's chopped. It might get him 4. You know, no, there is a man at fine leg, and it will just be a single. Oh my word! 29 from 29.
Now,
for
can
South
Classen
Africa.
just calm down a little bit and think, okay, I don't have to take Bumrah for 24 off and over?
They were an over ahead pretty much. Generally, they were ahead on the power play. That 4th wicket went down. It was 106 for 4 off 13.3 and 106 for 4 off 12.3 for India. So they were exactly for South Africa rather. So they were exactly an over ahead at that point. They pulled away since then. That one's nicely worked off his legs by Classen. Down towards mid wicket. They are going to come back for 2. It's a missed field. Oh, there's
they'd have got 2 anyway. But
India
as you
are
say,
looking a tad rugged.
They are
ragged rather than rugged.
They're starting to point at each other.
They may be looking rugged as well.
Some of them.
Yeah, this has been well.
I think the only danger here is these batsmen get too pumped. They look really pumped.
Yeah, well, they you
It's
only
50
need
for Classen as well.
You know, you now
They were
need less
20
runs than balls available to you. Sorry, Messers.
Yeah, they were 29 ahead at the end of the last.
In
over.
comes Bumrah. That's in front, is it? I thought
No.
that was going
No,
down
it's
leg.
going down.
I did too,
Gaffers thinks the same.
Panic
He
review
looks
incoming.
like a poker player under that
No.
hat of his.
No.
Didn't look on to me.
India are composed enough not to take that one at least.
Yeah.
Even Bumrah turned away as immediately he knew.
No, that was definitely going down leg. Is this it? Is this it? The time then they finally break that
No, it sure looks
final
like it.
hoodoo?
Well, it's
Bumrah.
not a final hoodoo.
In he
They've
comes.
never been in a final.
That was a terrific ball. Well, that's true. Tournament hoodoo.
Yes.
What a ball that was from Bumrah. Speared in at Classen's toes, and it was good enough to stop him getting a run. And they now the runs needed have overtaken balls. 27 from 26.
That's not going to worry them at all. I mean, they're so far ahead at this stage that they can afford a maiden from Bumrah.
Well, it needs to be wickets. From an Indian perspective, they need to take wickets because they do know that's quite a long tail that South Africa have got. Get through this and Marco Jansen. That's flicked away off his toes. Backward of square, there is a man down there. It's is it Dubé? Needs a lively take from a slightly wild throw from Rishabh Pant, who proves, as if he needed to prove it, that he's got all the spring that he used to have in those legs after that crash of his. But Classen, wow, absolutely launched into some balls there. That was just.
I just wonder if
took
India are
the game
going
away.
to risk another over of spin, and they might have to. Hardik's got 3, but he could only bowl 2. Axar may only have 1. Arshdeep, sorry.
Bumrah coming round the wicket. It's driven, but driven straight to short extra by David Miller. There is no run. It's 16 overs complete. It's 151 for 4. 26 from 24 is the runs required. And is Lalit Modi going to have to cancel his big reception, a celebratory reception for this evening? We don't know, but it's not looking good, Lalit, old son. Messers.
Frank Rockefeller predicted correctly that Bumrah would be back soon. Carl Herbert says India need to gamble and bring Bumrah back early. Well played, Safas, well deserved, says Leah. Shafiq Ismail just says 30 off 30. Who swapped the real lions in place of the paper tigers, says Pirate Badger. And Cornelius Davis says South Africa will take the cup.
Well, you know, way to wait until they need a run of ball. I mean, don't commit or anything.
I would say just a little bit premature. This Indian attack, 2 quick wickets, and it's a very, very, very different looking game because
yeah, but they do need 2 instant wickets.
You look at that tail. What Shamsi, Nokia.
Well, the order they come in is Jansen, Maharaj, and then you've got 3 number.
Maharaj, of course, can bat. But he'd need one of the 2 that's in here to still be there, I suspect. If these 2 were to go, it would start to look a rocky ship. So, it's been a pot boiler all the way, and I wouldn't say it's a pot boiler now. You'd put most of your money on South Africa from a logic perspective.
South Africa at 95% myself.
Yep, something like that.
Let's have a look and see what our old friend...
No, let's not.
I know you're a big fan of Win Predictor,
Why
Andy.
do you keep giving it any credit?
I don't give it any credit.
Well, you keep mentioning it.
I look at it, but I don't necessarily... With a degree of cynicism. It's got South Africa at 96, crucially 0.62. Just 96, I'd have said. No, maybe India's still in the game.
Well, it is going to be Hardik. I think they had to. I think they can probably just about squeeze 2 from Hardik, 1 from Bumrah, and 1 from Arshdeep.
It is indeed.
Klassen's
Klassen's down on his haunches.
Any other options? Because I wouldn't bowl spin. It could just end in that over.
He knows he's on the verge of history really here.
Absolutely.
For South Africa, and that's a lot of responsibility. I was looking at looking into his eyes as he was crouching there, and the camera zoomed in on him.
But
is he up for the fight?
Oh, I bet he.
I
Full
think so.
credit. They absolutely seized the moment with those. I think it was like 34 runs off 8 balls against
Right.
Kuldeep and Aksar.
It's going to be Hardik Pandya, isn't it?
Won the game.
He's
If they
bowling
do
from
indeed
the
win.
end of the media centre. He's over the wicket. He's beaten Klassen. He's got an edge.
It's caught.
He's got an edge, and it's caught. And this game is not as cooked. Klassen, we said he was looking at his eyes. He was, well, I sensed just a fear of the responsibility. Hardik's done the job. He's been taken behind by Richard Pant. It was right close to that tram line. It might even have been a wide, but he just managed to snick it. And that was enough to lose them that wicket. This game's not done. This game is not done. And of course we're watching Virat. Double fist pump from him. Well, of course there was.
Of course.
Of course there was.
What
150. How's your nerves, South Africans? If you're a South African listening to this, tweet us, message us on YouTube. How are you feeling?
What a brilliant innings.
Not quite as secure as you were.
What a brilliant innings from
Choky.
Carson.
Choky.
Yeah, right. Well, Miller 15. It was a fantastic knock from Klassen, as Andy was saying. Absolutely took it within touching distance. Within touching distance, Andy. But they are not touching it yet. They're within distance, but they haven't got one hand on it. Not quite for me.
No, just
not against
Brian in
the
Brisbane says Saffers must be getting nervous. Indians will be under loads of pressure to go through undefeated.
Well, we'll jingle
what
up
is
the new
Cody
man.
Cam count as this gets closer to the end?
You think Marco would play polo, but there's more money in cricket.
Just a bit of calmness now. Bat on ball. David Miller's still
that
there.
was what they need. Driven straight to mid-off and no run. 26 from 23. Have a look, Marco. Better that than anything daft. That no footwork. How often do we say that? Gets an edge behind.
Well, they hit
feet were
sixes with no
planted.
footwork.
Well, this is very true. Sometimes they come off and you praise them. What's Janssen done with the ball so far? Not a lot, I don't think. With the bat, rather. 3 against the Netherlands. Don't think he's had to bat so often. He got a first baller, didn't he, against England?
Here comes
caught
bowler.
Curran Archer. In comes Hardik Pandya. That's driven. That's driven backward a point, and they'll just take a single.
That's his job.
Well, I
Janssen.
think so.
Yes.
Yep.
21 not out of 14 against the West Indies in a winning course, so that probably has been the highlight with the bat. That's what they need now. If you can get that here, they're as good as home.
Yep.
Can he do here what he did against the West Indies? Where was that? I don't know. I'll have a look in a minute. Tense stuff. If you are a South African watching, if you're an Indian watching this, even if you're a neutral, I'm tense. and England aren't involved at all. It's been a final worthy of the name, I would say.
It's been a great game, yeah.
It's been a terrifically enthralling, exciting, close encounter. Not of the choking kind, but still could be. That's tickled away around the corner.
No.
They will look for 2, but they won't get it. 24 from 20. 153 for 5.
They just get this down to 10 or 8 balls and into a position where Janssen can open his shoulders, knowing that, you know.
Sometimes I do wonder about people, Andy. I mean, there's a group of clearly Indian fans, all got their Indian shirts on. They suddenly see the cameras on them. They can't wait to just punch the air, smile like idiots. Don't they realise their team's under the gun here?
Oh, absolutely.
Shouldn't you be concentrating on the cricket, not worrying about your selfie? Anyway, is this Pandya again? No, it's Jasprit, isn't it?
No, still
Hardik. Still Pandya, of course it is. Rolled towards Surakumar Yadav, who's at mid-on. Did they take a single? They should have done. I thought they would have done. 23 from 19. Hands
I think
on heads.
both sides have
hearts in
signed a
mouths.
contract to take this to the last over.
And the Kohli cams getting ready in case they win it. Against all odds, because it would be against the odds now. But it is just the length of that South African tail and the quality of this Indian bowling attack. They have been knocked out of their stride, that's for sure. And this is going to be Hardik again. He's got the last ball of his 17th over to bowl. In he comes, it's pulled, it's kept down sweetly as well. Down to long leg. They'll take a single. And at the end of 17, it's 155 for 5. 7, just over 7 and over is the run rate, but you think about it in balls now, it's 22 from 18. 5 wickets, but 4 of those don't make a huge amount of runs. Messers.
Well, there's lots of South Africans nervous, I think, but believing they can win this with ease, as says Mr. Fradaman. Excuse me.
Steady.
Yeah, gonna be
Bronwyn Pillay as a Safa in the US. Nervous. I need a brandy. Jay says Andy needs some proper tats on his biceps. Choke jingle for Classen.
I don't think we're playing that one again. Don't want to tempt fate here for either side, really. Awesome
Paddy says even the
entertainment.
pigeons in the garden are getting excited. Well, they're shagging anyhow. And several calls for a super over from Morgan Mike. Triple super over, says Morgan.
Get a lot of that in my garden. In my experience of seeing
super overs?
no shagging pigeons. That's a terrific delivery from Jasprit Bumrah. Just moved away at the last, but very full. Through it went to Rishabh Pant.
See, even if Bumrah doesn't get a wicket, if he can keep this over to 3 or 4 and leave them 18 off the last 2, then
You're well and truly in the game with this Indian attack. That was a
the last 2
delivery.
This is Bumrah's last. The last 2 will have to be
is.
Hardik and Arshdeep.
Yes, it will. Unless how many of the spinners got left, Andy?
They're not bowling a spinner, Tony.
Well,
not a spinner.
No, they're not.
No,
22 off 17. In comes Jasprit Bumrah. Defended out towards cover by Miller. No run. Nerves of steel he's going to need now. All of a sudden, that runner ball has become 22 off 16, and whilst it's not totally rebalanced India's way, it's enough to make those South African knees knock.
It is, and Miller's got to find a fine balance here. He's really just got to calm down and play the ball on its merits, which is easier said than done.
22 off 16. Hop, skip, jump. In. Slapped straight towards the extra cover boundary where it's fielded, and they will just get a single. 21 from 15 now, Marco Jansen. We'll have to deal with...
Just in terms of spinners, Tony, if they were to use a spinner into Jadeja, he has only taken 1 wicket in this whole tournament.
Yep.
He's had a very flat
I'd
tournament.
say I think it is most likely to be Hardik and Arshdeep, both of whom have the experience. This has been one of the more seam-friendly pitches. In fact, the second most seam-friendly pitch after New York in the whole tournament. Marco Jansen, all 6'8" of him, stands tall, bat aloft. Bumrah's in, he's bowled him, he's cleaned him up off stump, out the ground. What a ball that was. And the nerves which we're feeling, imagine if you're out there, and to me That shot looked like that. Literally nothing moved until the stump was rocking back. Goodness me. This game's not done, Andy. It's not done.
No, I was going to say Boomer was going to target the stumps. Leg stump.
That's leg stump. Beg your pardon. Even worse in a way.
On your bike, mate.
You know those fever dreams when you're trying to run and you're not moving, or you're trying to shout and you can't be heard?
What I used to have was I'm next into bat and I can't get my kit on in time.
Yes, I've had that one as well. To me, that Marco Jansen shot was like one of those fever dreams. Literally, nothing worked, nothing moved. Until the ball
Maharaj is
knocking his
coming
leg
out
stump
with
back.
Maharaj is coming out with a tie around his waist. He's got the most enormous, not even a thigh pad, it's a hip pad. I think he may be
has. Goodness me, what's he got there?
protecting an injury there, maybe.
Well, he has got, yes,
and a huge arm guard.
He does have a huge arm guard.
Now I would suggest his job is
Right.
to see out these two balls. Even better, take a single off this one.
21 off 14. That's going to leave a fair amount off the last two. Suddenly this game
what
looks
I'm saying.
very different complexion.
Boomerang is going to keep this to 2 or 3 and take a wicket.
Oh, well, we're getting our money's worth. I can tell you that in this fantastic final. It could still go either way. David Miller is still there. That is the one thing that I think South Africa need to cling on to.
This is the kind of game, it could come down to an edge. Does it go into the keeper's gloves or past him for 4?
Yeah, actually it didn't even knock back the leg stump. It just clipped the bail
Shaved
between
it,
middle and leg,
yeah.
didn't it? But it was enough. 21 off 14. Bumrah in.
Oof.
Maharaj defends.
Wow.
And there's no run, and he had to defend in a hurry to get some a warm round of applause. Does Bumrah?
And I'm betting this one's going to be on the stumps as well, this last one.
Yep. Target the stumps, Jasprit. That's the instruction. No one can do it better, really. Than,
He's a
Jasprit
god.
Bumrah.
He is so much better than anybody else as a fast bowler.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Well, particularly in death situations like this.
Any
Maharaj, the
situation.
new man at the crease. He's fenced this away out towards short cover. They'll take a quick single. You've got to take them when they're there, but well, there you go. A simple equation. 20 needed off 2 overs. You can work out that that's 10 and over. 10 and over when you've just lost Classen and you've then lost Marco Jansen. That's 2 lots of long levers gone. Andy,
I'll tell you
why on earth they took a single off that last ball, I don't know. Miller's got to be on strike.
Well, you've got to take every run, Jess. You've got to take every run.
Well, yeah, I don't, but he can't score the runs. Miller can. Shafiq Ismail says, "Wow, goodness me too." Marco bowled, says Pirate Bradshaw. Get ready to start performing CPR. South Africa choking again. Someone call 999, says Luke Allen. Come on, Proteus, hang in there, says Nick Vickers. Leah says, "Oops, what happened?" Lockie 6 says, "Super over coming up."
I don't know.
10 and over, we can do it.
He does have 2 not
lot
out.
of money on the super over.
He has 2 not outs, Maharaj. He got 4 not out against Bangladesh.
Bowler coming in.
Arshdeep Singh it is. And that swings in. It's going to be a dot ball. Suddenly India are right on their toes. They had a period where I think they thought the game was against them and gone. They got really sloppy. Not now.
I think they're favourites now.
To a man. I'd say they were favourites. 20 off 11.
Now South Africa needed, I think, 30 off 30. They've scored 10 off 19 balls at the vital stage.
You cannot write this India's attack off, that's for sure.
You and Cricket Info agree.
Do we?
Although WinViz has only got India at 40%, Cricket Info has it at 56%.
I think Cricket Info is more in tune with the game than the crazy percentages that
I've got
WinViz
it
comes up with.
50. I just can't tell you.
I lean towards India from here. I think with Maharaj, as you say, is not going to hit too many boundaries, and he desperately needs to get off strike
and a 5
here.
not out.
Yeah,
he's clearly either seen, I can't remember the circumstances against Bangladesh and England. That's a swing and a miss.
You might have been right, Jess. Maybe they shouldn't have taken that single.
No, I think it's proving to be the sage of the weather cave is also the sage of advice for South African batsmen. but under the heat of the moment, the run was there, they took it. That was a fantastic delivery. Arshdeep Singh standing and admiring his handiwork because he knows that dot ball is worth its weight in gold. 20 off 10, 2 a ball now. Somehow one of these two has got to launch one, and they've got to launch it fairly quickly because the pressure is right on now. Arshdeep, left arm over the wicket, pulled up in the air. It's going to drop short of deep wind wicket. Axar Patel fields. They get the single. It does bring, is it Marco Jansen, isn't it? No, not Jansen. He was out bowled, wasn't he?
Miller.
David Miller. Well, this is the man you need on strike.
He needs, gosh, I think he needs
to roll back the years a bit.
2 boundaries off these 3 balls.
Yeah, I think he does.
Any more than 12 off the last over is going to be really difficult.
He got 29 off 38 against Bangladesh. That might be the New York, I can't remember where that was.
Pitch.
43 off 28 against England. That's more the form he's going to need to pull out here. And it's just extraordinary how this game has pivoted, and from a moment when you thought South Africa are right in front, it's theirs to lose, and yet
it turned out you were right as well, Tony. Those 2 quick wickets and turned the game around.
It doesn't always happen, Andy. I'm
definitely wrong when it does.
As often as I'm right. I could still be wrong. Goodness me. 19 from 9 balls. Rohit.
Arshdeep's a canny bowler. He's certainly capable of not getting hit for 6 in these 3 balls.
Short, pulled, high. Is it going to go far enough? No, it's going to drop well short of Jadeja. They're going to get 2. They need 2 a ball.
2 is not a disaster.
2 is not a disaster. It keeps Miller on strike. It's up with the rate they need. They need just a shade over 2 a ball. That was the classic. Dig it into the turf and let the fact that the ball's not massively coming onto the bat that quickly, just slowing it up enough to frustrate David Miller. But they got that 2. We're looking at Jasprit Bumrah, but I think he's done. Arshdeep, that's a fantastic in-swinging Yorker. It's dug off middle stump, whipped away round the corner. It's only a single. And suddenly South African heads are in South African hands. Well, presumably same head. I don't think they're all passing their heads over to each fans. Not passing their heads around each other.
Now
16 off 7.
All of the over is a free hit from Maharaj. He's got to try and hit it for a boundary.
Yes.
And if he gets out, doesn't matter.
Correct.
I go along with that, Messrs. You are wise.
And I think his best chance for a boundary is a big thick edge past the keeper.
Yep, I agree.
Well, he'd settle for that, wouldn't he? He's having a look around at the field. Let me see. They've got a man on the 45. They've got a slip and a gully. They've got a deep backward point. Arshdeep, it's full. It's bunted. And it's bunted straight back at Arshdeep, who fields high above his head on the bounce. And it means with South Africa on 161 for 6 on 19, they need 16 off the last over. David Miller is on strike, and suddenly, in the space of 2.5 to 3 overs, a game that was South Africa's has completely swung in the direction of India. Messers.
Mayank says, this isn't a choke, but it is tight. What's wrong with Miller today, says Jackson's sick baller. This isn't Test cricket. Sigir's internet's crashed on him. Great commentary, thanks guys, says Desmond van der Veshen. Wetherston. Joy Sandy says 10 and over South Africa, we can do this. Dara says, I called it at the beginning of the game. Miller is the key. Indeed he is.
Well, he's absolutely the key now.
Now, the one thing in South Africa's favour here, I am not a big fan of Hardik bowling death overs. I think he is hittable. No. That's what they've ended up with. They had to bowl Bumrah earlier, and it was the right call, and he did fantastically.
Didn't he just?
But you push the rug down in one place, it pops up in the other.
It's like whack-a-mole.
It is, yeah. And that would be the one thing there that can hang their hat on. Hardik can bowl a slot ball. He can bowl a short ball you can hit for 6. He has got a full toss in him. Miller's got to find a 6 from one of these first 2 balls.
Body language says a lot. Aidan Markram's starting to look a tad Butler-esque. The eyes have gone a little bit far away. He's trying to look confident, he's trying to look cool, but I don't think he's pulling it off. Quentin de Kock looks almost like he's about to burst into tears.
Well, he often does.
But his eyes just tend to do that anyway, don't they?
All the same, Tony, as you said before, 2 wickets could change things. 6-4 changes things.
Well, 6-4 makes, can David Miller do that? All around the ground.
Remarkable, actually, that India's only bowled 2 wides in this innings, which is very disappointing.
Well, exactly. I mean, there weren't that many extras from my memory in the
only
South
7.
Africa bowling.
6 wides and a no ball. Yeah. There's been 6 extras.
2 good attacks. Hardick in.
That's what I
That's
said.
launched. He's done it. I think. How far's that gone? Has it gone all the way? I think it has. No, it's taken. Is it taken? It has been taken. Oh, what a catch that was!
Whoa.
That was incredible. That was who was that?
Surya Kumar.
Surya Kumar Yadav running round the straight boundary. He'd taken it. He looked like he'd gone over the boundary. His feet were in the air. He managed to land, jump back, catch it again. An incredible catch has got rid of David Miller, and with that, surely hope for South Africa is lost. But
They're
wow,
going to have a look.
Wow,
they're going to have a look. We couldn't see it on the first time because it was a bit obscured by the sight screen. I did tell you Hardick had a full toss in him, and that was a easily hittable full toss. Miller, in fact, possibly just wiping away something from his eye there because he knows that should have been in the stand. Have another look. Catches it.
Where's his foot?
Where's his left foot going?
I think he might. This is.
It's perilously close.
Both feet.
I think he is good.
But was there the merest, sliver of boot on the sponge while he still had the ball in the hand? That's what they're going to look at.
Just for once, I hope they take their time on this.
Here we go.
Not there.
Not there. I think he's good. He's thrown it up there. I think they're fine here. And it just, when you look at it close up, I say not obscured by the slice of stand, and you see it at this angle, you realise that was a phenomenal piece of fielding by Surya Kumar Yadav. Wow.
Well, notwithstanding the fact that I think it is out, notwithstanding the fact that I think the laws should be changed and that shouldn't be out, under the current laws, that is a fantastic catch.
You think it should? Well, maybe not the time to debate it.
No.
But nonetheless,
I don't actually disagree with Andy at all. I think if the last time you're on the ground before you touch the ball, you're over the boundary, it should definitely not be out.
Well.
He ran about 15 yards before he reached the ball, right on the boundary. He took 3 steps right next to the toe barone.
His body, his balance
chucked
was
it up.
that of a ballet dancer, wasn't it?
Is the line slightly in front of the Toblerone? Has that Toblerone been pushed back a little bit?
No, I don't think intentionally, but
no. I'm not saying it is.
We'll quickly do this. Absolutely crestfallen, distraught David Miller. I suspect this might be his. How old's Miller now? I
don't know. I'll tell you one person I'm not giving any credit to, and that's Hardick, because that was just a big old me full toss.
Well, Hardick is going to be in to the new man. We've hardly had time to jingle him. It's edged. He's going to get 4 off the outside edge. It was a big. If you're going to swing hard. Big smile is Alan Carr-esque smile from Rishabh Pant.
Rabada's got a 6 in him.
Rabada is the new man. He does have a 6 in him. No one meaner, no one harder. What's his name?
What drama?
Kagiso Rabada. I don't think we've even got time to play his jingle. I'll just put it on the download. 12 or 4. He's got a 4 off his first ball. Death or glory, isn't it? Death or glory to your Kagiso Rabada. What a seesawing game we have had.
Now he's got to go back of a length here, Hardick. He can't put this in the slot or full.
Tested nerves for him as well. In comes Hardick.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss by Rabada. They're going to gallop a single.
Not sure that was a good idea.
Well, I'm with you again, Andy. Heat of the moment. it's there, you take it. But I think you'd rather have Rabada swinging at these, wouldn't you? Than
yes, it does mean 6 and a 4 gets you a super over.
Oh, yeah, but you've got 3 balls and you don't have your bigger hitter of the two of them.
Well, you might also suggest, well,
facing.
If he was the bigger hitter, perhaps he should have come in before Maharaj, but I guess they were hoping Maharaj was just going to stay with Miller and give him the strike.
I think that was the
which
the
he
game
didn't
plan.
manage to do, because unfortunately Maharaj was just running up a lot of too many dot balls. He couldn't rotate it.
I don't know the stats for how many sixes Keshav Maharaj has hit in his career.
I don't think it's too many.
But I suspect it isn't a huge amount, to be honest.
He's right back in his crease.
He is.
Both
He's
feet inside his crease.
Practically standing on his stumps. Hardik is over the wicket. Has to dig that one out. It's only whipped into mid-wicket. It means it's going to be 10 from 2. Simple equation, Andy.
Yep,
a 6 and a 4.
6-4.
Or the game for South Africa is cooked. Cooked, you'd have said, from a winning position. But that's easy to sit here and say the pressure out there against such a fabulous bowling attack. Well, it must be immense. Something is making Messi chortle. Heinrich Classen.
Brian has only got 5% left on his battery. He's wondering if he's going to last the over.
Oh, that's brinkmanship there.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. 167 for 7. That doesn't really matter. What matters is it's 10 needed from the last 2 balls. Heinrich Classen had a towel over his head. He was hiding his eyes. Aidan Markram is
I think he's the one. He
stealing
knew,
it out as a batsman.
He knew he had it won. It was that was actually a good piece of bowling by Hardik to get Classen out. He threw it slow and wide.
Yes.
It's the final that the tournament would have wanted for sure.
Yes.
That's a wide.
And that's a wide, I think.
Oh,
it is a wide. Gaffers spreads his arms. That was nerves from Hardik Pandya. It was a horrible ball. It was wide, it was short.
No, it was full. He was going for that wide Yorker outside off stump, and he pushed it a good foot too wide, and that does mean 2 4s will get a super over now.
It does. Well, yes, it does.
Yes.
If they can get another one of those edge, I would have my third man pretty fine myself. He gets another one of those edges past the keeper.
Well, we shall see. Yeah.
Because honestly, I don't see Maharaj thumping one over long on.
No, I don't. All Rabada can do is... well, no, it should be Rabada now, didn't it? They took the single, didn't they?
No, it's a wide.
Oh, it's a wide. Right, okay. No, it's Rabada, yeah. Rabada's facing.
Well, they should be on 8 then.
9 from 2. He's hit this. He's not hit it far enough. He's going to be caught. He is. Rabada is caught at long off. Taken by... Is that Surakumar Yadav again? I think it was. And 2 wickets in the over for Hardik. We didn't fancy him much. We said he's likely to go. Well, he went for 1-4, which was an edge. Other than that, 2 wickets, and that is the game done for South Africa. Rabada tried to launch it, couldn't get enough of it. In came Surakumar, steadied himself.
Much easier catch.
And it was a heck of a lot easier. And of course, where does the camera go? Is it to the distraught batsman? No. Is it to the man who took the catch? No. Was it to Virat Kohli? Of course it was. We'll forgive him that, though.
And then to Rohit.
And then to Rohit after that, yes.
But I think this game deserves a no ball next that gets snicked for 4.
Well, that would be the
Someone's
worst
got to come in
bit
for
of cricket in history to bowl a no ball.
It's going to be Shamsi. 168 for 8, or 9 off 1. Oh, a no ball would mean a free hit, wouldn't it? But I don't think Shamsi is your man to necessarily...
We've had a super chat.
It's Norkia, isn't it?
Norkia, yeah.
It's Henrik Norkia.
We got a super chat from Pirate Badger, sent us €5. Says, you see, I told you it was never in doubt.
Never in doubt. Henrik Norkia, a man literally mission impossible.
I think Hardik just brushing something from his eye there. Different kind of moisture in his eye. He's just emotional because he's about to win.
Well, in comes Hardik. Smashed. It's going to drop short of Arshdeep Singh, who's at deep mid-wicket. He rolls it in underarm.
Yeah, Hardik's kind of overcome.
To the
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Every India, deep joy and delight. Rahul Dravid, that's his final game as coach, isn't it? Do it for Dravid, they were saying. He was going, no, you're not doing it for me. Well, I'm nothing to do with it. It's all about what the team does. The contrasting emotions of the two sides. India utterly jubilant. Some of them just don't know what to do with themselves. South Africa, well, who'd want to be in their position right now? They gave it a damn good go.
Well, they
but
did.
They will be disappointed because it just fell away, didn't it, Andy? Just fell away.
I'm not going to use the C word, but a lot of people will.
They will, I'm afraid, after that. They most
but I think
definitely
from South Africa's point of view, they've got that monkey off their back about getting to a final. They've given it the best go. They've got in a winning position. That Classen wicket was everything. He got them into a completely winning position.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he just edged one behind. Yep, Hardick's absolutely blubbing like a girl.
Men can blub too.
Well,
it's not a sign of weakness.
Clearly.
Anyway.
But it was the sort of the final that this competition deserved.
Oh, it was a terrific game. Terrific game.
It's been a great World Cup. And we got another super chat. And who from? But of course, Jay Grover sends us a $5. Just says bother.
Well, just a reminder. Thank you, Jay, so much. South Africa well ahead, really. They were 150 after 15.2 overs. 150 for what were they at that point?
4, probably.
150 for 4. At that point, you'd have still said the game's theirs. But India, they are such a phenomenal attack. Bumrah really did his magic when he most needed it.
He really did.
And it fell away, didn't it?
He bowled Jansen. He bowled that 18th over for like 2 or 3, and that was pumped the rate up. That they need 20 off the last 2 overs.
Well, Hardik Pandya 3 for 20 in the end, but obviously
in the end, I'll give him
the close
credit for the Classen wicket, which was obviously the game-changing wicket. A bit less for the Miller wicket, and Miller knows that should have been in the stand. They would have needed, I think, 10 off 5 and a lot of pressure on Hardik. There's a great catch by Suryakumar, but he should have been watching that sail 10 yards over his head.
But the other thing, when we watched that before, the hang time on the ball, we were just convinced it was several feet behind the boundary, weren't we? Oh, there's absolute tears of despair. David Miller is distraught. South Africans don't know where to look. Funnily enough, neither does Hardik Pandya.
No.
There's some Indian players here who are in tears and do not know what to do with themselves. South Africa, you absolutely feels for David Miller.
Super sopper out. Put the covers on the pitch.
Wow, David Miller is to say he's taking it personally. He knows that the game was there in his hands. I'd love to know what he and Suryakumar may say to each other when the heat of this situation has just died down a little.
When they see each other in the IPL next year.
Wow. But well done, India. You have to say it.
Absolutely.
Heinrich Classen gives a big hug to Hardik Pandya, which is good to see. I mean, as we always say, so does Shamsi. That's Cuddles all round now. They play against each other all the time in the IPL. They probably play against each other in other franchises like the SA20.
No, they wouldn't, because Indian players don't play in the other franchises.
No, they don't. They don't. Quite right. Well, certainly in the IPL. Rahul Dravid, a triumphant finish for him. It's an ICC tournament after all those years for India. Jasprit Bumrah. Is that Mrs. Bumrah?
I hope so.
I sincerely hope so, because it's an extremely passionate cuddle that Jasprit's getting there. If I was Mrs. Bumrah watching that and it's not Mrs. Bumrah, I'd be going, hang on, steady on, Jasprit, old son. Wow. Well, we've been entertained. Boy, we have been entertained. South Africa have won this India have won this, what am I saying, by 7 runs. In the end, you could see the game falling away. There was a point at which we all thought, it's theirs, they're there, they finally cracked it.
Even the Iceman Rahul Dravid just wiping at his eye there, as you say, in possibly his last game.
They're in front of that Sir Garfield Sobers pavilion. A big hug for Hardik Pandya.
Well,
Gracious me.
I should add, absolutely well done, India. I think they deserved it over the tournament. I think they were the best team.
Well, the right two teams got to the final.
I think so as well.
Possibly, ultimately, the right team won. You could argue in the World Cup in India, the best team through the tournament didn't win. Australia on the day did deserve it, no doubt about that. India were weighed down with the weight of expectation and the ceremony and the pressure of a packed crowd at Ahmedabad and Lalit Modi waiting to make political capital out of the triumph which never came to pass.
I think a lot of this emotion from
Not
India is because they thought the game was lost.
Well, it's a surprise. Yeah, it's the element of surprise.
As much surprise and relief as anything else, especially for Rohit.
I know we joke about it.
You see, I don't.
If India, hand it to them. Terrific.
I think they also carry a burden for the nation. Really,
sorry, Andy.
In terms of this, that's I can't see Australia getting anything like as emotional winning. They'd say, "Oh well, it's a World Cup."
Again, I don't think you're seeing these emotional scenes if India just won that by 40 runs, straightforwardly.
No, I agree. It's the surprise of the turnaround. It looks like they've beaten the weather as well, because what was gorgeous blue skies above Kensington Oval suddenly now is dark and grey. We are waiting for Beryl, not Godot. We're waiting for Beryl. But she's going to be blowing over tomorrow. But I think she's sending her advance calling card in the clouds that are over the ground now. But we've been entertained. 7-run win for India. It's Jay Shah, who's
right in the middle,
cuddling everybody like he
yeah.
bowled every ball and played every shot himself. But there you go. The Indian fans,
we got a
Indian
number
players
of
love
messages of thanks that I'd like to acknowledge.
Yes, okay.
So Kieran Roseblade says thanks, Gorillas. Brian in Brisbane says thanks all. Jay Grover says thank you all very much for mint commentary on a mint game during a mint World Cup. Luckily we've already had the Indian election. Muttley says thanks for all the tireless efforts throughout, primates. Pass on my thanks to the Box of Dreams, Messi. I shall indeed. See you all in the next series. Windies, love and sausages. Yes, 10th of July we'll be back for the first test at Lord's and Jimmy Anderson's farewell. There's a lot of comments about the Pokey Bum Fem says men can try too, but it doesn't make us feel any better. Great coverage. See you all for the proper cricket on the 10th, says Mayank. A Fish Eagle says, I'm only sorry about one thing, and that is making the effort to support the Proteas. So thank you all for that. I'd particularly like to thank Tony Bishop and the Bear for a huge amount of work to just make this happen, and Russ in Melbourne. Between us, we've covered a fuck of a lot of games in the last 29 days. And it's been a hoot for us. It's a lot of work for them, but it's been well worth it, and really appreciate all that you've done, Tony, in bringing it together.
Yeah, 100%.
That's very generous, but let's celebrate for India. They've won this by 7 runs in a game that quite literally has seesawed. I'm with Andy. The joy, the passion, the emotion, the tears even in victory are because it looked gone for them, and they hauled it back. South Africa, David Miller, my heart absolutely goes out to him. He had the weight of the responsibility on his shoulders. It took a worldie of a catch from Surakumar Yadav to deny him, but he's not going to get any solace in that for a while. Siraj is in tears, and he wasn't playing.
He hasn't even hardly bowled a ball in the tournament.
Anyway, we have loved your company all the way through this. Thank you for supporting us. Find us on Patreon. Please do. We have challenges coming up as we're going to have to move out of our studio. We need to double our Patreon revenue. If you can find it in your hearts, your wallets, or anything else, to get onto our website, go to Patreon and look for one of those $10 Patreon ships. That's going to help the show massively. But today, it's all about India. It's all about a phenomenal final. It's all about a fantastic game of cricket. And it's games of cricket like that we want to bring to you. So with that, I think we're off. Messers, thank you. Thank you to Steve. Thank you to Will. Thank you to Messi, of course. Thank you to Mog. For not just his tweet reading, but for obviously his musical contributions. Thank you to Andy, sat next to me. We will see you for the West Indies series. We cannot wait for that. It starts on the 10th. Do join us. In the meantime, thank you.
Take it easy.
Well done, India.
Bye-bye.
Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and